beautiful nerds. Welcome to our... Oh my gosh, what session even is this? 7th? Is this our 7th or 8th? Is this our 8th? No. Let's figure this out. This is, well, first for some. This is our, well, 5th was the fall of Ashcaleen.
Then one with Fig, so this is 7.
19. This is our 7th.
So 7th, 2nd, and 1st.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
you know what? I loved all of the sort of the improvised chaos of that. I might just keep it in. We won't even edit it in post. That's fantastic. Welcome to our 7th session, back with Shadows of Ashcaleen, exploring the homebrew world of Odromia following the catastrophic fall of the city of Ashcaleen. I'm excited to continue this journey with this ever-changing cast of characters as they sojourn through this world, encountering all manner of new and exciting adventures. But who better to introduce themselves than our wonderful cast, starting with Jess.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica. I go by Eyes to New Stars online in places like TikTok and Instagram, and tonight I will be playing Elindra Shadowgas, the party's Hellfire Elf.
Indeed.
Warlock. Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew. Fig. You take it.
Rain!
Yes, so I am Rain. Hello. I go by Virgo Rain on the socials like TikTok and Instagram from my mermaiding and cosplaying adventures. Tonight I will be playing Fig the Fawn. She is a satyr as her race and is a Sorlock.
And just joining us, just freshly new to this campaign, we have, would you mind me saying your first name? Is that okay?
Hi, Rhea online. So
Rhea?
We
are joined by Rhea
then.
Hi,
yes.
Rhea.
Hi, Rhea.
Hi, Rhea.
Yeah, you can say it however. But I go by Pyrea online. Tonight I will be playing Atarah for the first time, who is a battle master fighter, and she is a tiefling. And I'm excited. Very excited.
I am excited too, just because I love session zeros, and I love the world building that sort of occurs because of them, and it's a lot of fun. And of course, as always, I am your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, Andy, aka Mr.DanDyDM, and I can be found on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, all the socials. If you happen to come across this episode and you enjoy it, please consider watching the previous episodes to see how we got to this amazing point with this amazing cast. Also, if you feel so inclined, we have other shows like The Survivors of Ashcaleen and a brand new pirate-themed show, Our Flag Means Doom. We do, of course, appreciate all of you who have liked and subscribed thus far. And now that we have got our introductions out of the way, let us dive into our first episode for some, second episode for others, and 7th episode overall of Shadows of Ashcaleen. Atarah. You feel pain in your back. The pain of a burning hand that is pushing you through a tear in space. This tear, it's almost blinding as your eyes are sort of readjusting to the light of a plane of existence that you've not been a part of by your count over 7 years.
Okay.
You feel this hand and you hear the words that you are familiar with, but come from a mouth that you've never heard them from before.
Every obstacle is an opportunity, little one.
And it is like you are newborn, suddenly stumbling into empty space. Suddenly you find yourself just plummeting. 20, 10, you make impact with the ground, but you are not hurt. You look around, you look at your person. What is the first thing that you notice that is different about you?
The hue of her skin is different. Where she's used to seeing what would be kind of like my own like olive skin tone is now this like peach shade that the ends of her fingers meet in almost like this reddish color. And as she's like looking, she's also noticing that like her arms are longer when she's used to like looking at her hands. They're in one spot, but they're clearly several inches like further away from where she normally is used to looking.
As you make this realization, I need you to give me a perception check.
Bad. I hit the ground, literally. Oh.
Actually bad.
It's not as bad as it could be, but
You rolled a 2.
A 4.
You rolled a 4.
Double that, but then add a 4 for my perception. It's 8 in total.
8 in
Guys,
total. Okay.
We're not gonna do well with perception.
No,
no.
It's one of the downfalls. Yeah. As you sort of like get yourself to your feet and you're starting to note, wait, my skin, what is going on? You're looking at your skin and your nails, and you see down on the ground, just it looks like rubble. You're in. It looks like some broken down. You're looking around. Looks like a broken city. And you...
That's all she gets because she rolled so low.
You do not know
There's
where
people
this
everywhere.
is.
I'm sorry.
But
I'm alone.
You do,
They're
I will
watching
say,
her.
you do faintly recall your life before you arrived at the place you just left.
All right, amazing.
And you remember it being hot. You remember sand. This environment is not that. This is actually very cold for you. You see above this broken city just mountains, massive mountain ranges that seem to stretch into the sky forever. Mountains like you've never seen before.
Is it like is there like snow and just covering everywhere? Is it that cold, or is it just like freezing?
There is
chilly?
snow. It
Okay,
actually,
that's
there
cold.
is, it looks like there is a fresh, just a fresh patch of snow that has just fallen within the last evening or so. You do take stock very quickly, even on an 8. You still are able to tell, oh, it
is snow, in fact.
yeah.
Real snow. Gotcha.
And it does look like it is morning.
Okay.
It is morning. Wherever I am. And then you recall words that are spoken as a command, but also as an offering, as a promise. You remember the faint feeling of not knowing if you can trust the offerer of this promise, but you're willing to take it nonetheless. You just start to look around. And you hear, even on an 8, you do hear a sound coming from a nearby building. It looks like, I do remember, the thought that comes into your mind is you do remember what a tavern looks like. even though it might not occupy an environment that you're familiar with.
Okay.
There is something on the ground called snow. You do remember what snow is, even though it's not something you're familiar or lived in. But you see this building and you hear sounds coming from it.
All right, she'll go towards that. She'll start like whatever she's wearing. She's gonna like bundle up and start kind of stomping that direction and
What are
mumbling
you wearing?
like, something from cold. I I would imagine that. Oh. Okay. Actually, she's really out of place at this very moment. Because if we're rolling with ghost rules, the outfit you wear when you become something else, she's actually in like a formal gown.
Okay.
So she's in like a formal red gown, and so like the tulle around her shoulders, she's trying to like pull in and like try and keep any warmth together as she's like stomping through the snow, grumbling about how cold she is and if I ever get out of here. And she's stomping away.
Okay. We will pause with you as you are approaching the tavern. You think it's a tavern. And we will enter a building that also looks very much like a tavern. With our characters, our heroes. Fig. I say heroes. I don't know if you guys are heroes just yet. With our heroes, Elindra and Fig. You guys have come down from the rooms that you were staying in the previous evening, having experienced some things that evening, and coming down, and you see your armored companion, and you see him, Sir Belvedere. You see him approaching you as you were coming down the stairs. And his step falters, and he goes as if to speak to you and then freezes. No words. Just a gesture towards the two of you. Almost as if he were going to say, in his usual cheerful, chivalrous tone, a possible good morning. But it doesn't happen.
I'm feeling a little rusty there.
Oh, speak up. You can go ahead and say what you were saying, Mr. Belvedere.
No response.
All right, funny joke.
Did he rust like you said he's rusty? That's not good. I don't have any oil. What
Rap on his chest plate.
what means this?
You rap on the chest plate, and Elindra, you feel heat.
I put my hands there.
Yeah. Sir Belvedere is heat right now. It's too hot. And as you try to like touch and see if like you can manipulate or see if he's in there, suddenly from the edges and spaces between the armor, suddenly green flame just goes, and from the slit where the eye, suddenly just gouts of green flame just pour out and just melt portions of the armor. And the hand that was gestured toward you just begins to like become almost like a molten liquid, and just there is no sound, no scream, no nothing. But you both hear it there's a laugh.
I didn't do this. I didn't do this. This wasn't me.
No, I didn't
I'm
think that she
holding,
would
like,
know her friend.
Liquid metal in my hand as it runs down. It wasn't me.
Are you okay?
Oh, yes, I'm fine. I just flick away the rest of the metal.
There is no timekeeper here to clean it up, so do what
I don't
do we
think it
do?
matters.
It even matters.
Maybe, we could. Should we put him in a bucket?
Or yes, or a keg, if anything, we could.
Get a
Are you going
bowl,
to smelt
perhaps?
him?
I can keep him melted, and then maybe we can reform
Okay,
him.
just to clarify, just his arm became sort of a semi-liquid, the one that was reaching out to you. The rest of him is still very much intact.
So there, okay.
Oh.
I thought he was literally a puddle, like.
I really didn't do it then.
I-
Mr. Belvedere, you feel a little hot under the collar? I go to try and move the visor.
As you
next to
move,
you.
you actually, in what seemed, it's just a couple hours ago, you were actually in conversation with Sir Belvedere about who, what he is or was. And you do, like, when you were having that conversation, he seemed completely solid, like a carapace of armor.
I mean, he
that was-
carried me for hours.
Yes, that was completely immovable, like could not be manipulated. As you touch it and you touch the visor, it opens. And there's nothing there.
Oh. She takes it off.
Biggest stunned.
Do you think I killed him? Maybe
Yes,
telling him
say
he's
good
been
morning.
dead for so long made him die.
It's at this point, as you are holding the empty helmet of Sir Belvedere, with the other parts of the armor still like standing straight, fused as it were, almost with a half gesture, with a melted armored hand, gesturing towards you, Fig. That suddenly the tavern door opens, and in walks this person who looks extremely out of place right now. Again, I will rely on Atarah to, in as much as Atarah understands what they think they look like, what Elindra and Fig see.
Peach hands. That's as far as she's gotten, and she's seeing like her legs moving. As she's entering the tavern, are there things around her that are? Is he reflective?
Yup, he's nicely
Okay.
polished.
Sir
Mhm,
Belvedere
like-
is even being sort of in a melty state. He is extremely like this is a suit of armor of a
Okay.
paladin of Bahamut.
Perfect.
And
So
he is
he's
very
a
shiny.
Great reflective surface for somebody who's potentially having a problem. You're gonna see. She doesn't know this yet, but she's like 5'7", tiefling, kind of scrawny, but also somehow buff. She's strong. She's still strong.
Athletic.
Yeah, there you go. That was the word I was looking for. She's gonna scamper through the tavern, clearly confused as she's approaching your guys' fallen comrade here, and seeing that like the surface is reflective. She is going around the body and like staring, stepping back, staring, and then she lifts her like dark teal, like she's got like asymmetrically cut short hair and horns that again are peach, that go into like a tan color, and they just kind of come straight up just a little and curl slightly backwards, and she's in a red formal gown as she's looking at her own reflection, confused. Are we? And she touches the suit. Is it hot?
It is.
Ooh.
And you know that
But
based on how hot it is, it should hurt. But it doesn't.
Her other hand goes on, and she's looking at her own hands again, and then she looks from Fig to Elindra. Are you real? All of you, and this metal thing. This is hot. Yes, hot.
I ignore her for about half a second. I turn to Fig and I go, "Do we think she killed him?"
I mean, she's dressed for the investigation to kill him. Oh, did you kill him? You?
Who? Him? This?
Yes.
She pushes the armor a little to see if it shifts.
It tilts to one side, but again, it is a solid piece,
Okay.
and it just comes back to a straight position. The armor itself, except for the pieces that Elindra has removed, fused in place, like a statue.
I did not kill him. He would have. This would not have been a fair fight anyway. Not very mobile. This. It is a giant chunk of metal.
He was nice until just before you opened the door. So he was on the way of being a friend? Are you a friend? Are you interested in being a friend?
I put out my hand to shake hers, holding the helmet in one hand.
Holding it. In this moment, do I recognize either of these two figures in any way, shape, or form? Or is there any way for me to look at what they're wearing or any kind of clues on who they might be in this moment?
Two things. One, do you shake Elindra's hand?
Yes.
Okay.
I light it up.
The second thing, and thank you for that, Elindra, because I was expecting that. The both
Resistant
of you,
fire.
Elindra and Fig, could you just quickly explain or share what you look like to Atarah?
Sure. So Fig, she is at her full height on her hooves. She's about 6 foot tall, and including with her horns that come out, she's about 6.5 easy. Brown skin, and then it fades up to like a dark burgundy on the top half of her face. Long, like brown to golden locks. She's wearing like a beige halter top and a corset, and this big like maroon kind of skirt, burgundy actually I should say, that is slid open in the front to reveal both of her hooved legs. And she stands there with like trinkets and baubles around, but you can tell clearly she doesn't dress for travel.
Or at least not for travel here.
Yeah. I love it.
Elindra.
Elindra is she's a 5'5" elf. Very beautiful, pale skin, uncanny valley effect when you look at her, too perfect. Violet. Is it violet? No, it's amber. It's amber eyes, I believe. Took me a second, okay? Long silver blonde hair. She's not dressed for cold weather either. She's in a skirt very reminiscent of Mary Poppins. You know, it stops at the ankle, puffy. Dark colors, all black kind of vibes. Very slender. She looks like a waif.
Atarah, as you take the hand that is offered, you feel almost like a rushing sound of water and ice and air. And suddenly you are no longer standing where you were just standing a second ago.
Shit again. Sorry.
Yes.
Amazing.
You are once again standing in a throne room full of ice everywhere, with a monstrous ice throne directly in front of you, on which is seated a figure that, at least at their most humanoid looking, looks to be about 9 feet tall, with a massive cape, long hair that goes down to their shoulders, skin pale blue with eyes a piercing gold, with horns, massive blue and black horns that stretch and curl behind their head. You are standing in the throne room within the Mephistopheles. You are standing, or actually at this point you're kneeling, before the Lord of Kenya himself. Something about him, though. He has a very pained expression on his face, with a wound that appears to have been fresh.
Great.
He, in front of you, he seems to be manipulating a series of shards that have coalesced into almost like a mirror of some kind that is just passing before your face. And on it, you see the image of the woman that you are currently shaking hands with. Once again, ripped out, and you are still holding Elindra's hand.
Man.
At this point, it has been possibly 15 seconds have gone by of you just holding Elindra's hand. Elindra, this is an uncomfortably long handshake. Let's count it out, shall we? 1, 2, 3. No, I'm not going to make us do that. It's long. It's long. And this person, you suddenly see this peach-colored tiefling woman have suddenly this glazed expression on their face. They suddenly just sort of snap out of it.
When she snaps out of it, she will actually grab onto your hand tighter, Elindra, and like pull you just slightly forward. It's danger. I knew there was danger everywhere, but it is much worse. Your father is in grave danger. There is a wound that has not been there. I do not have I cannot paint you a picture. It is a problem, and not good is what I am thinking at the moment.
Who are you?
What a great question. I have been sent here to actually find you. Surprising enough. was a little easier than I anticipated, but I am supposed to keep you safe, and now part of that deal might... Oh. She has released her hand, and at this moment she is thinking to herself, she accepted a deal for some reason, and now what happens to that deal if that wound gets worse? And then she shifts back to Elindra. I am here to keep you safe, to protect you, and I'm Atarah. That is who I am. But
why? Just the most petulant, bratty behavior, along with the foot stomp and everything. Father sent you?
She looks down at you because she's taller than you.
Because I'm looking up at you, foot stomp and everything.
Wait, Elindra's 5'5", correct?
Yeah.
All right, so Atarah's 5'7", so just barely tall. Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, the satyr is 6 foot
enough.
tall.
It's like, yo, you want to play this game?
No.
Fig just like moves over.
Fig, this is literally hella confusing right now. As you're watching these two, at this point, you probably have some ideas about Elindra, but Atarah is a new thing, and you know that tieflings, they are, in your experience with the Twilight Serenade, they can be a tricksy lot.
Great. I love to hear that for me.
Are you my sister?
I am not. No. I am not your sister. I am here to help you. I'm quite qualified, but I am still trying to fill in some of the very frosty gaps here, all right? I keep getting thrown from place to place to place, and 7 years. 7 years, and then all of a sudden I am in multiple places. It is all very confusing for me still. What I do know is that I am not typically orange. Yes. Okay, let's put it this way. I do not typically have horns or a tail, and I look different in this.
You're not cementing that we're not siblings.
I am not from wherever you are probably from. I assure you that. I have a mother and siblings that are not you. I promise you that.
Yes, so do I.
We are not siblings. And she looks at Fig.
What
And
else
she goes,
Dad said to you?
No, that is not it. You are acting. Is she your sibling as well? As she looks at Fig.
No.
Then why would you
She's
say
not
that to me?
fireproof. And she didn't come from father.
This goes for a drink. And I say 3.
It
3.
is 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's like, you look parched, both of you. And then so she kind of like goes to the bar and like pours a few drinks if there's, anything left from the night before.
She's like, all the empty, the non-empty cups are now empty. She's like, punch.
There is still plenty of liqueur that remained undrunk from the previous night.
Yeah, so Fig just grabs 3
Bullshit.
steins worth of stuff. And then just hands it to them too. Cheers to new beginnings.
Absolutely not. And then I pick up my necklace that Daddy gave me, and I waggle my finger at it, and I'm like, we're going to have a talk. And we're going to have a talk. I just put it away.
As you are pouring these drinks, Fig, what are some of the thoughts that are sort of going through your mind? It has been in the very first few minutes, having just awakened, Sir Belvedere is gone through some arcane, dark magic potentially means. And not only that, but suddenly there is a new figure, a new person who has arrived. All of this is just very... It's a lot.
Yeah.
What are some of the thoughts that are coming into or going through Fig's mind right now as you are pouring these beverages?
Yeah. Well, what makes Fig a wonderful performer is being able to adjust and adapt to the surroundings of what happens. People coming in, you know, she's used to performing in front of crowds of people, screaming, hollering, tripping probably in her path as she's tumbling and twirling. You know, making sure, of course, she's rousing the audience. She's making sure to be in time with, you know, the drummers and those who are playing the other instruments. And so with this vibe-ish shift and the forever hold that they had on each other for a while, it's like, you know what? It'll sort itself out. That's what she's thinking. She's like, you know what? They're not fighting. You know, they really aren't fighting. They don't know who they are. How would Fig know of all things and who they are or where they came from? So she just like, it'll unravel itself. And just because the fact that specifically they're not fighting, she's good.
That is very orderly, but also extremely like chaotic at the same time, because it's just like, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah. So the drinks are poured. You've cobbled together a bunch of different. There's some gin mixed with some rum. It's an odd assortment of beverages. But you do know that this is the kind of thing that's definitely gonna, the moment it hits the nostrils or touches the lips, it's gonna wake some people up.
Yeah.
You sort of pass these drinks out.
So during these, they will warm you up a bit.
I roll my eyes. Never
Just
cold.
take the cup. Just take.
Fine. I took it. I have the cup. It's in my hand.
That's all I
I knock it back. I knock it back.
Cheers.
It's in my hand. I drank it.
There's no hesitation. Atarah just takes it and drains it. Like, while you're having this exchange, she's just like, nope, yep.
Big laughs and Faye, you know.
Atarah, give me a brief history check.
Oh no, you're allergic to this and you pass out.
I can't. You ain't a drinker.
Surprise! This is how you find out. 14.
Actually, it's sacred.
14. You watched as you were sort of like having this like sort of heated like staring contest with Elindra. You watch sort of at the corner of your eye. Fig seems to be very adept at mixing drinks, but you're watching the stuff that she's putting together, and you're like, oh, I can't wait to see what that tastes like. And you take the drink. The moment it hits your lips, there is a new memory in your mind, and you suddenly, you're not transported, but it suddenly unlocks something within you. Just, there is a freshness to the drink, even though it does wake you and warm you, but there is a freshness to it that makes you think of a very, very hot day, training tirelessly with not only the instructor, but with your siblings. And you remember suddenly the names of your siblings and the instructor who you are also related to. And you remember sort of after the heat, the intense heat of, you know, having trained with your weapon for many hours, just suddenly having a refreshing glass of something. You can't remember the name of it, but it was something It was a real treat to have that first time when it was determined that you were of a certain age to handle your alcohol. And it is a happy, tender moment. Because it is a piece of you that you suddenly have again.
She'll drain it, and that'll happen, and she'll empty cup straight to Fig. Can you do that again, please? Like 1 or 2 or 3 more times, possibly.
I'm not holding her hair back.
No. It is something is going on. Whatever you did, are you magical by chance?
Oh, of course. And then Fig just turns like completely flattered by asking that question.
Game recognizes game.
The game recognizes game.
Just sulking off in the corner.
I'm magical too.
It doesn't matter. I'm powerful, more powerful than both of you. It doesn't matter.
I'm Daddy's favorite.
It's fine. I am Daddy's favorite. You know what? I don't need Daddy. As I look at the scar on my hand, I don't need Daddy.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so Fig just goes ahead and just like makes more in bigger cups, like bigger. Yeah.
Atarah would try again and see if it did anything else a second time.
Doesn't do anything a second time.
Okay. Figured.
But it does do what it is intended to do.
Okay.
Which is it warms you, and just the having that memory unlocked and sort of having that recollection, and it does fill you with warmth. And maybe for a brief second you feel like maybe the two people that are near you at this present moment, maybe we need to talk to each other a little bit more. Whether it's the memory of you training, you suddenly feel a hard object. Not suddenly. You suddenly are even more aware of a hard object running down your back. Running down within the portion, within the, I'll say the reddish corset of your ballroom gown.
She'll, with her open hand, she will reach back and reach for whatever is back there.
Your hand closes around a handle of a weapon, the feeling of which you know, but there's something different about this one.
With her glass, she'll look at the two of you and she'll be like, you know, it might have been a little chaotic, but I do like both of you. This is not a threat, but I am very confused. So don't freak out when I pull this whatever the hell is behind me, because I'm not.
Whoosh! No, I'm kidding.
It's quite great, everybody. Yeah, helping or hurting. Just not sure, okay, but like great drinks. You two are wonderful. And she pulls out whatever she's got, the hilt of, to inspect it.
It is a rapier that you suddenly withdraw from a sheath that appears to be almost a part of the dress that you're wearing. And it is completely shiny black, not seeming to be made of any kind of steel that is native to a material plane.
Do I recognize it?
Yeah, you do. This is Elindra, you immediately recognize it as a weapon that is only used by the closest guardsmen within the Mephistopheles.
Those are not family?
They are not family, no. They're more.
Oh,
they're more
you're Chadduck.
They're more akin to a Chadduck type. Yes.
You're Chadduck. Got it. Do I own you too?
I'm sorry. What? You're
Daddy
going to have
sent
to.
you for me. Wonderful.
That is
You can
not...
carry my things.
No. That is not part of my job description.
What does Fig think about all of this? Like all of these massive leaps of logic as things are being revealed.
I'm so sorry.
So there's like
Perfect. We love it though.
from Elindra, there's suspicion to now as like reciprocity. You're gonna carry my shit, and then we have with Atarah like barreling in. I didn't kill him. Look, and then like, no, hold on, I'm not threatening, and it just like
What?
she you know what, this is what it needs.
Hang on. I cast a spell. I cast summon demon. I'm summoning Chadduck.
Okay.
Chadduck, come here. I need you. Chop chop.
Oh, okay. I need to write this down. What is the type of devil Chadduck is again?
Teneric.
Teneric. Okay. Chadduck. There is a very pungent aroma that suddenly fills the space as the smell of sulfur just is overpowering. Standing suddenly in front of Elindra, a hole in the floor just burns, and suddenly materializing up through the floor, it seems, is this very tall, very grotesque looking, sort of devilishly charming a little bit.
It's not horrible looking. He's just very hairy.
I'm sorry. Standing on this side of the mortal plane, any other person who looks at this person is not going to be like, oh my god.
Don't be rude.
Smash.
Don't be rude. It's about what's inside that matters.
Exactly. Chadduck, the devil with a heart of gold. Yes, this Tenerac male standing at 7 feet tall is standing in front of you, Elindra.
Yes.
You don't seem very happy to see me. What's this?
Well, our last conversation didn't really end well.
What was our last conversation? You were helping me fight for the city that fell.
Right.
Wait, what was our last conversation? For real? Wait, I don't remember.
You summoned the Creator. And he came, and suddenly the city was reduced to ash.
Okay, well, letting a little bit more out of the bag than I wanted to. With that,
his eyes just sort of widen as this is a very gross underestimation of what actually occurred.
As I look over to the other two in the room,
Chadduck turns and looks at the other two. He looks at Fig, and his eyes, he very briefly pauses on you, Fig, sort of like looking at you and like sizing you up, being like, okay, like assessing a potential threat. Then looking down at the tiefling, eyes narrow, seeing the blade that the tiefling is holding.
Does he have a blade like this?
Holding it like this.
No, he does not. He has
everybody
a
to see.
massive, mean-looking club.
Taking that in, I'm gonna say, I think we should have this conversation in private.
Very well.
Come along, darling. And I'll take him up the stairs.
There is, even with a 7 foot tall devil creature, he's a creature. You see sort of the shoulders sag, just like, oh no, not this again. And he follows Elindra, I'm assuming going up the stairs back to the room that you had.
Yeah.
Okay. Leaving Fig and Atarah. At this point, the two of you standing alone in the tavern. Atarah, in one hand, you have what looks to be an incredibly deadly obsidian-looking rapier in one hand, which has all of the flecks of a regular rapier, but it doesn't look like a normal one. And as you sort of flick it about in the air, you can sort of see that when you flick it, there's almost a reddish hue that escapes from the blade. Fig, you also see all of this, and it's one of those perplexing moments where you're standing, and you literally, like, the thought that crosses your mind is, I don't have a joke for this. You are standing in front of a tiefling holding a sword, dressed in a red ball gown, next to a half-melted suit of armor, and currently headless, because Elindra took the head.
I'm keeping it.
And you have a drink in your hand. The tiefling has a drink in their hand. What do you do?
So, Fig, she takes it, drink in one hand. She goes and like leans her elbow on the shoulder of Sir Belvedere. And then she just like, that's the second meal I've seen her with. And both times I've had to talk to her about unrequited feelings, and I think this one she's going to act on it. You take him upstairs, so cheers to that, And that's what Fig does. That's what Fig is literally assuming. She's been in several taverns before. When a woman takes another male unescorted upstairs, it is not to play backgammon.
Funny fact, backgammon is Chadduck's main board game. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey! We were partners back in the day.
Atarah, you also witness all of this, and you find yourself alone with this 6-foot-tall satyr. And you recognize in this moment, this is the first time you've ever seen a satyr. Ever.
She's not paying attention. Blame it on the alcohol if you want. But she has got the rapier in her hand, and she is like a child, like messing around with it because it's. Can it make sounds like a lightsaber?
You're making the whoosh.
As long as you're the one making them.
Perfect. Yeah, and she's doing it, and she'll be going zwoo, 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 as she's like drawing shapes now. And then she immediately just kind of turns and like the slightest little tink against the metal. oh, I am sorry. That was not. I am sorry. I just had the thought. Actually, I had two thoughts. One, I might be magic too. And as it goes zwoosh, as she lifts it in the air, and she goes. And I have never seen a. Forgive me. Are you a satyr? Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh. And why are you? Well, I guess you are equipped for the cold as well. I mean, your legs look cozy. Yes, the fur, and.
You are a very sturdy woman. That's the vibe.
You're like very French.
She's just going. It is much. You probably feel much better than whatever. I am not from the cold. I am from the warmth. As she pulls the rapier down this time, as it's going zwoosh.
As Atarah like just whooshes it down. Can Fig for like a quick nanosecond cast like minor illusion, and then so as she does, there's like this light that like this like red light that's like just kind of like a semicircle, so it looks like she just offhandedly did something enough for her to notice.
So it like almost like you enhance.
You gave her a lightsaber.
The already sort of stunning features of the rapier itself.
Yes.
She sees this, pauses, completely distracted again, and repeats that maneuver like a
And then
couple of
Fig's
times.
like real quick sleight of hand and goes, "Oh my word!"
Look at this.
Ah.
What?
And then she's like, just gently, like a conductor, but very,
Yes.
very,
That's perfect.
How did you end up with is she a princess? No, that is not how that works. Is she a princess?
It's a funny story. We met yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We met yesterday, and took a hike and a rafting adventure, and we are here. There was a lot more before that, before yesterday. Long stories, but essentially, we are all newly acquainted here.
Oh, well, and she like shifts it forward again. And she's making the noises for sure.
Fig is like
she's-
literally just like, yeah.
Good job, honey. You're doing great.
You're doing so good.
Look at you go.
And she's like, it's like, oh.
Perfect. Atarah will put the rapier back in where she thinks the sheath itself is.
You do it. It's
Okay.
It's effortless.
Muscle memory. Perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. Not even being drunk can okay.
We've only had maybe 2 drinks. You're not getting there yet.
Perfect. Well, all right. And you plan to stay with this Elindra? Yes? No? Yes.
Yes, but we need to talk about your how do you say here, your dress, your attire. I've never been here before. Clearly, there is not many people here in a while, but you are not really dressed for outside. And I'm used to being inside, and even then, as beautiful as you are, it's different. I'm just curious. What brings you here?
It is also a long story, but I some of it I'm not 100% sure on, and I was not kidding when I said that I am here to protect Elindra, and I have been contracted, so to speak, to do a job, and I will, fulfill that job, hopefully, and then return home, hopefully.
What's
You
your
know?
job?
To protect Elindra from I do not know what. It was not detailed in the loose but not loose contract. Do you know what she does by chance? I'm just supposed to keep her safe, and I guess
Now she's about to start running headfirst into danger. You gonna work?
Why she's here, we have not covered that. But there are some things that are a few pain points that I've noticed. But no, I don't know why she's here.
All right. Well, if you are her companion, I will also watch your back as well. I am quite capable.
Cheers for that.
I might be a little out of practice. 7 years, so to speak, but I am capable and I am strong. I should be able to fall right back into it, as you saw with the my very fascinating weapon.
Oh, it's impressive what you've done with all the movements. It's great.
I wonder why. She's lost briefly. Again, this is not a smart character. I'm just gonna say this out loud.
Oh, honey. Oh, honey.
You're in good company.
We love it.
How dare you? I'm incredibly smart.
That's true. You are. Speaking of, as this conversation is taking place and Fig and Atarah are sort of getting to know each other a little bit better, Elindra, you bring Chadduck up to the room that you had the previous night. Chadduck walks through the door, his shoulders still slumped, just sort of holding this great club that he has in his hand, and he doesn't look terribly happy to be there.
Why are you mad at me?
Do you really need me here right now? I really should be getting back.
I'll let you go in a moment.
Oh, good.
What do you mean, oh, good?
You can see him sort of shift his feet just sort of very uncomfortably right now, which is impressive considering he's like much larger than you.
Yeah.
And he is...
Kenya needs to we need to make sure that Kenya is protected right now, especially as your creator, is injured.
But he'll heal. He always heals.
One does not simply heal like they used to when hit with the blade that they were hit by.
It is
How
not.
long will he take then?
We are doing everything that we can. At least they are. I'm just a simple guard.
Speaking of that, why aren't you higher up in the ranks by now?
There is a very brief moment where his eyes just suddenly like almost light on fire as he's looking at you, and he's...
I really have no idea. Well, something to do with the fact that I keep on being sent around by other people that I'm technically bound to.
This upsets you when I call you?
You see a moment where Chadduck, this devil, is choosing his words very carefully, knowing that despite the fact that by all appearances he is a dominant figure, he is very much at your beck and call. And he just sort of looks at you.
Elindra, I know what has occurred in the past between the two of us, and despite the fact that you have me whenever you need me, it does put a bit of a strain in how I am viewed within the court, and I know it really doesn't matter to you at all, but it does put a bit of a strain on how I achieve certain promotions within the ranks.
Okay. So you don't want me to talk to Daddy then?
No, I'm just saying that perhaps she was sent here to protect you.
Well, why wasn't it you?
You know why.
No.
There are certain people that do not approve of our...
He pauses.
...relationship.
We don't have one.
He frowns.
What?
Do you need anything else?
listen, I would like you not to be angry with me. So if you would like me to speak to father for you, and for your brother as well, you could raise in the ranks together, I would.
I think right now, currently,
he says through gritted teeth,
that would do more harm than good. Please just let me go, at least for a period of time.
You're impossible to please.
The expression on his face looking at you right now is, this is definitely the pot calling the kettle black right now.
You know I adore you, don't you?
No response.
Fine. I'll just call your brother and speak with him instead. He's nicer.
Do you require any... Do you need anything else?
Yes. So father's unwell.
That's putting it mildly, yes.
Okay. Well, how unwell?
As I said, he has sustained a grievous injury at the hand of... You, oddly enough, call him your cousin, but... by the Dark Prince himself.
I know, I was there. How? So, my memory's a little fuzzy. But, okay. Deals with devils. Demons. How does one... Would it just be simple enough? Okay, if I tell you you're not allowed to say something and tell Daddy, are you not allowed to say something and tell Daddy?
He approaches you in like a way that is like you could see sort of the hairs on his body sort of bristle for a second, and he just is like,
Elindra, I am begging you right now. And whatever you are about to tell me, please think through it before you say it. Because you do know that I am compelled to reveal information to other people once I'm back within the 8th circle.
That's fair. Okay, you're right. Just... Deals made in dreams. Are they binding? Even if it's not so much as like a deal was made, but more like a point of contact.
Was anything exchanged?
Maybe?
Depends on the demon or the devil.
Okay. Why?
Some possess greater power than others. Some will possess certain access to other planes of existence that others do not. I, for one, can only go from this plane to the 8th circle or any of the circles in the 9 hells. But I am not able currently to travel elsewhere.
Because cousin has them all.
No.
and he looks at you like, you should know this.
Because I'm bound to either this one or the other.
Sorry.
You're not really sorry, are you?
But you're just so much fun to have around.
Be
I
that
could
as
let you
it
go.
may.
Should I let you go?
That is entirely up to you.
You see
No,
this
that's the two
half
people
look.
deep. That's-
You see this look of almost pleading in his eyes that is completely unspoken.
Then you won't come when I call for you.
I'll still come when you call.
You promise?
I promise.
Fine. You're not bound to me anymore.
Are you removing the spell? Okay. The spell goes down. Chadduck stays. And he just sort of leans down towards you and says,
I know it feels like you're alone right now. But the one downstairs was sent for a reason. They're here to protect you. They're here to offer the same level of protection that I offer.
Yes, well, I like you better, though.
You don't know them yet.
but...
Fine, don't take a compliment.
I've been working on that. I apologize. But my duties are calling me elsewhere, and they are here because it is known that they are here on a more permanent basis.
If they're here, then maybe Daddy already knows what I did.
Again, I have no idea what he did.
Not telling you anything, it's fine. I'm not telling you anything, it's fine.
Okay. Just keep it that way. I don't want to know. Although everything that you're not saying and sort of also saying is kind of giving me an idea just how grave. You know what, I'm just gonna stop talking. It's not, actually, you know what? I don't even know what I'm still doing here, and...
I just wave with the hand that I have the scar on.
Oh, God.
Saying it without
As
saying it.
Chadduck, as he's sort of like burning into the floor
Okay, bye, I
once
love you.
more. Like the head and shoulders are the last thing that like are there as he's flaming out of the material plane and reabsorbed back into the fields of Kenya. But as he like looks at your hand, this sort of bug-eyed expression, and you sort of see his mouth begin to move.
Be careful.
And he is gone.
What? That went well.
Elindra says to herself.
Elindra's gonna take a
Good
nap,
job.
a half an hour power nap, and regain a spell slot.
And remind me, you are fully, you are no longer exhausted, correct?
I have one level. No, I guess after resting, I don't.
You don't. Yes, that's right. So you are fully, you no longer have any points of exhaustion. You are fully, you feel normal again. And you feel like you have, you're almost back to your full strength. Downstairs, Atarah and Fig are passing the time, just drinking, just having some drinks. Occasionally,
They're, like, playing quarters or something.
Fig, occasionally you're just like, you touch the armor to see if there's anything that might happen.
Mhm.
And
She's like casually playing her pan flute, she just fine.
oh, that's lovely.
Elindra comes down wearing the helmet.
Can Fig whip around, say an infernal? So, how was it?
Well, he's a big boy.
You have a little flush in your cheeks?
What can I say?
More details?
Details.
According to
Does
your
one
down
kiss and
here.
tell? How rude.
Is that her
Is it
boyfriend?
rude in the company of us? I mean, why
It's not
not?
my boyfriend.
I
don't
I don't think so, anyway.
They don't have to be. He didn't act like your boyfriend. He acted like something else. What is he to you?
A gift?
A gift? You got a male gift? How do you... I want the male gift. That's really
I can ask
cool.
my father.
Do
Maybe
I have
he
to
can give you
protect
one.
him too, or not?
What?
Do I have to protect him as well? I can speak infernal, by the way.
And back to an infernal. I mean,
Looking.
Wait
no.
a minute.
Besides, apparently you're better at protecting things than he is.
I could
That
have told
sword
you
says
that.
so.
So if your boyfriend also needs protection, just let me know and I can handle it.
Actually, that would be kind of funny. I'm horrible. So, Danny sent you.
Is he still up there?
No, he left.
Oh. Oh. You wore him out. Cheers.
I
mentally,
am very
mentally and emotionally
aggressive.
Poor guy. The poor guy. Oof.
I really want you guys to find out more about that circle at
I'm
some point.
so confused and I'm so like,
Big
I
is
want
fine
everything.
Big is fine with her own narrative. She is piecing it together like a telenovela. She's fine.
It is a telenovela. It is.
I love that for her.
Do I know anything about the guards in the Mephistopheles?
They are predominantly ice devils. So sort of insectoid looking, almost like a mixture of like centipede meets praying mantis.
No, so creepy crawlies.
I know.
She's not creepy crawly.
Yeah.
Is she creepy crawly? Are you a
is
creepy
not.
crawly?
She is very the person that you see, Atarah, is very much like a tiefling, only like if a tiefling was at like a fancy dress ball.
I'm gonna walk up to her, kind of take the end of one, like part of your dress and swing it around a little bit, and then peer into your eyes. Be like, you don't look like a creepy crawly. You're very pretty, actually.
Thank you for.
So I don't think you should drink anymore.
Just opinions.
Just opinions, yes. Also, I look at both of them. I need a pair of horns. I feel left out.
I can do that. I can. And it won't hurt, I promise. Can Fig run upstairs to the room that she stayed in at night?
Yes.
She's gonna run in. I'm assuming, of course, besides normal furniture, there's a couple of things in disarray. Can there be like a couple of like pieces of like wood? I don't care if it's off the bed, anything like that. Just like a couple of pieces of wood that she can grab, like two.
So, in your room, if I recall, the way I described it was there's a hole in the ceiling.
Yes.
And you were there was like snow that was coming in. It had a very like sort of like a ghostly, silvery look to it. And you had a giant 4-post bed, and that was very comfy. But then there was sort of a broken vanity on the other side of the room. And of course, like all the accoutrement of a room that you would stay in, although it's a little bit sized down because this is a dwarven tavern. And you're very easily able to piece together a portion. Like, what are you doing with these broken pieces? Actually,
I want two pieces of wood, like no more bigger than this.
Yep.
And Fig would like to druid craft them into like a headdress, so it looks like, like she puts on like a headband, and there's two horns there. If that's possible.
With your druid craft, you are able to take these broken pieces of this vanity, this wooden vanity, but you take pieces of glass, which is essentially sand, and that has been superheated and reflective. So you've woven pieces of reflective glass in with these two pieces of wood into this glass and wooden crown that looks finely crafted and also very shiny. so that the person who wears it looks peculiar, but also like they might kind of fit in as well.
That, and then Fig grabs like some sheets off the bed. She just yanks like a couple of sheets off the bed and then just runs downstairs and then like goes up to Elindra and goes,
Take my
close your
helmet off.
eyes. Close your eyes.
Okay.
You
I close my
ready?"
eyes.
And then so she goes and she takes the horns and fixes them nicely, like zhuzhes her hair up a little bit just so that way just it sets in like a beautiful crest on her head. Okay, open them.
I use the helmet.
The helmet.
I was like, there needs to be a mirror with a reflective surface. Use Professor or use Sir Belvedere.
I'm keeping this helmet, guys, for real.
It's now, you
It's
know, it's how we're gonna
multifunctional.
get. It's how we're gonna get ready. Like, all right, everybody, pull out the helmet.
Without a mirror.
Yeah.
Oh,
Elindra,
these are stunning.
This is a gift. Let's be real. Ever since leaving the Crystal Expanse, you've not received very many gifts from friends.
This is a gift. This is her favorite gift she's ever been given. No one's ever made her anything before. And she hugs you.
Oh,
I love them.
you.
Thank you.
They look amazing on you.
Elindra's got like this big smile. She's gone from being the brat to just, this is the best thing and this is the best day ever, even though she has her dead friend's head in her hands.
Yeah. A little macabre.
They're really going. And you had that just lying around, or you made that? You really are a magic fig.
I said a little bit. I'm just curious. And she like holds, of course, the bundle of like sheets. Would you be cold? I have these to wrap. You're beautiful. I just didn't know how cold.
Oh, fabric. Yes.
Oh, are you cold? And then I just go and light up a fire, like not even thinking about it.
Are you
Am
like
I
lighting
cold?
the fire that was in the hearth? Okay,
Yeah,
so
last night.
you just suddenly there is a fire, a roaring fire, once more within the hearth of this tavern, like suddenly illuminating and casting a small little bit of a little bit of a reflection, but also there's almost a prismatic effect, a rainbow as it reflects off of your crown, Elindra. At least
She's
the,
so-
at least
this
the
is what she
glass
keeps
mirror
doing.
portions. And you sort of realize as you move, like you're it's almost like the ball that spins.
A disco ball?
A disco ball. That
When
spins.
When she sees that, she twirls a few times.
Yeah. As the fire once more is rekindled, Atarah.
Yeah, she's like wrapping herself in this sheet for sure.
Yeah.
Like she's cold. She's kinda like
you wrapped yourself. You've sort of your body has reacclimated to not only the heat of the fire but also to your new coverings. The ballroom gown is still like it holds heat pretty well. It's just very unwieldy and just sort of not great to move in unless you're like doing the dances within the city that you're from. But you are very grateful in this moment that
Can
someone...
I do something?
we're doing more crafts because I'm
Yeah.
for it.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm.
we're-
That's
yeah,
what
we're
I was
gonna-
about
That's
to.
all we're doing.
It's like a clueless montage.
Listen, I'm
just with the
super
makeover.
sorry that he's
It's my
dead,
favorite.
but we have a fighter
Listen,
with no armor.
R.I.P. But
Can I start melting the armor apart? Because that would be easier for her to move around in than a giant dress.
So melting Sir Belvedere?
Yeah.
Or melting
not
the
like
armor?
completely, like making it so that we can take him apart.
Give me a... what kind of a check do I want this to be?
Elindra, do you tell us what you're about to start doing?
Oh, if she's a fighter, she should probably have armor. And I mean, he's no longer here, and that's the head. I've passed on to the next realm. I'm just moving the fucking flap on this thing. He was a very nice tin can.
Is that another magic thing from you, Fig? Were you powering that suit?
No, he was sentient on his own.
But he died like a long time ago. He
We
just didn't
figured-
realize it until the few minutes ago.
Yeah,
That's my theory.
And he just
Yeah. He couldn't drink. He couldn't drink at all.
Well, it went in. You just couldn't taste it.
And what's the point of drinking?
Exactly. Well, I mean, taste isn't great, but you do like the buzz.
Well, then you're not drinking the right things, Lily. It could be. Then she pauses. How do I know that? Never mind. Don't listen to me. What are you going to do with Is he going to? He's not going to haunt me, right? You are sure? Should we clean it or?
Elindra, give
If
me
he does haunt you, he's very nice.
Give me a... do you have any kind of kits or things that would allow you to craft?
I have thieves' tools.
Okay, so I'll say with your
Which
thieves tools,
Chisels and shit.
yeah, you're able to sort of improvise with the tiny because you're going to be melting, but you're also trying to sort of give shape to the thing that you are melting. So I'll say, give me an intelligence roll, but add your proficiency. Go ahead.
I know what I want to do. I have an extra set of armor that I don't wear. It's leather. I'm gonna take, and since we're not two different sizes, we're not hugely different. I'm gonna take the leather armor and I'm gonna use that and start melting the metal over top of it, and making a brand new chest piece for her with little Mephistopheles designs in it.
Okay,
and
hold on.
I also have in my bag a little bag of sand, which I heat up to make little designs in there as well, and make little glass designs in the armor. So when it gets hit, it'll crack and look like lightning or something.
Ooh.
Okay, this is the symbol that you carve, or you sort of stamp into the armor that you are creating. Are you doing this with the help of anyone in the group?
Do you want to help? You can.
Sure, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, Atarah is
the way
Yeah,
I'm
I'm,
picturing this
fitting
is
it to
literally
you.
this is literally like a woman being fitted for a wedding dress moment.
Yeah.
But
With
only
the white
armor.
sheet is tied underneath, and they're
Right. This is so
No. You don't need the white sheet underneath. The white sheet's gonna be your cape, baby.
she
Yeah.
already wrapped
So
some of it
this
around.
is so you have this sort of leather armor. I'm gonna say, give me an intelligence. Just give me an intelligence roll. Add your proficiency, but also you are able, because Fig is assisting you with sort of the moving and shaping of it. And it's like one of those things where you are transitioning Atarah out of the red ball gown while also transitioning them into this armor. This new
So I'd
armor
like
piece.
to keep part of the ball gown. We keep the the corset. I take out layers of tulle from underneath so it's not poofy, and then we tie it between so that you actually have pantaloons.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, we are DIYing it, and then you have
Amazing.
extra tulle and white fabric for your
And like
sick
just
ass
across
cape.
the chest. Yes, and then
Yeah.
Can I help her with casting guidance?
I was gonna say you would, by helping her, you would allow her to do this with advantage.
Perché non lo dos?
So yes, yeah, please roll twice, and add your proficiency modifier.
Okay, 18 on the dice plus proficiency modifier. Where's my proficiency? Okay, plus 4.
Aha.
So 22. Plus intelligence, were you saying? Or no, just 22 is good anyway.
Yeah. So this is okay. It does take you guys, well, on a 22.
The
It
whole
takes
day.
you guys It takes you guys a good 2 hours.
You ever sewn?
It takes you guys a good 2 hours to sort of like not only melt portions of this plate, and now, Atarah, I have to give you armor now. So hold
okay.
on one quick second.
It's so much fun.
Oh, did you not want armor?
I have leather studded armor, but when Andy was like, "What is she wearing?" I'm like, "Well, by ghost logic, she
Yep.
was wearing this."
But because we've devoted this lovely amount of
Halfway?
time that is so descriptive and illustrative, I want to
We're doing
actually
it.
give you
Oh yeah,
some
I'm
real
writing
armor.
it down. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm actually gonna share. It's gonna be homebrew, but I'm gonna share it directly to you. You'll be able to add it to your character sheet. Your AC is 12 right now, right? Or is it 11?
Correct.
Okay,
It's 12.
12. Okay. Hold on one quick second. I'm going to find something that is sort of a perfect mixture of infernal and fey, as you both are sort of working to get in tandem, creating this armor.
Ooh, you're making little flowers that we're just embedding in the glass, like the little glass bits that I'm putting on underneath that, and then like putting them in. It's like little circles.
That's so bad.
You look
So instead of like
beautiful by the
instead
time
of
we're
like
done.
the studs that are in armor, it's the little like the flowery glass
Yeah.
beads. Yeah.
with these sick ass red pantaloons and like shin like the shin bits are reused as well.
Yes, and you know Fig loves the color, so they're not just like a solid, just red. It goes from red down to like a deeper, deep red, as like the knees down. So it's like that gradient kind of dye effect. You know?
I'm like, I want to draw this. This looks sick.
That's why I'm writing it down.
And the platinum of the armor. Oh my god,
Mhm.
you're gorgeous.
Mhm.
Ugh. And
I'm so happy this is recorded. You have no idea.
Yay.
the like the bracers, those get made from scratch though. Those are made like bracelets that you can take on and off, so that they match a bit of your regalness. That at least that's how Elindra sees you, a little bit regal.
Ooh.
In fact, the rest of the sand gets used to make little chains, like a couple charms that both of you can now add to your horns.
Oh,
Yes.
Something that matches. Like we both get one.
Yes.
This was the greatest bonding moment for all
Yeah,
of us.
you
Elindra
know
went
what, it
from
really
brat
was,
to
it really
like
was.
besties.
I love it. It's like those rom-com montages, and they're like just
And I
cute
do
music,
dish, by
and
the
then
way.
just
I
kicking.
dish about because by the time like I've opened up now a little bit, and so I've started talking about Chadduck, and I'm like, I don't actually know why he's so mad about it. I think we used to be a thing. Don't really remember.
Oh, poor guy.
That's what you're getting.
Yeah. Does he know you don't remember, or
Yes, I've told him, but he doesn't seem to believe me.
Oh,
At least I don't think he believes me. He's very angry about it.
of course. Every from what I've read, every male wants to be remembered, and if you don't remember, of course, it's a blow to their ego.
I remember him in the sense that I always know that he belongs with me.
That is sort of sweet. Kind of. Do you tell him that? Oh,
Yes, I don't think he likes it very much.
That's hot. Watch that. Watch. And she's like moving.
She's moving. I'm like, oh, I just pull it away from your skin.
Not
sorry,
quite.
sorry.
You had to tell him.
I have.
But clearly you're not telling him in a way that he understands. Is he slow?
Sometimes. No, he's actually very smart. Sometimes. You know,
are you slow?
Am I slow? I'd say so.
Maybe we should help you write it down then.
No.
No,
I'm
right.
sure it's fine.
Okay.
I'll talk it out with
She's
his
turning.
brother.
Oh man, I want to give this, but it's gonna be way too OP.
What is it? Tell us what it is.
Maybe you have to like grow into some of the features.
Yeah,
That's
like,
possible.
give pieces. That's what I do
Yeah.
with like my kit with my party. I give them their like OP weapon or armor, and then they get the actual things as they level up.
So this will be just so that you're in the know. This will be armor that currently provides a +3 to your AC.
Ooh, nice.
Dang.
So instead
The
of at a
power
12,
of friendship.
you will be
It's
at
the
a 15.
power of love.
Okay.
All three of you are sort of working together, although Atarah,
Atarah's just like
you are very much overwhelmed by all of this. As you are just sort of like pausing, you're watching this satyr and this appearing, this occasionally on fire elf suddenly sort of like busy around you, just sort of cutting and like tucking and pinning and like doing all of the things as your once very like lavish red royalish looking ball gown is suddenly being deconstructed to a point where its pieces are just being, utilized in very different ways. Meanwhile, Elindra has gone and just melted with her fingers, just gone in and just very carefully melted portions of the chest and back and area around the waist area, and is now just sort of forming it into with different pieces of leather and found things around the tavern, just putting together this very ornate breastplate.
Cup.
And
Amazing.
it is
Just like cupping. Like, sorry, have to fix it. No.
yeah, it's very much like just sort of they are melting it, but then they're also using heat metal to form it to your person. And it, after 2 hours, it is actually very impressive to see the level. Like maybe in another life, Fig and Elindra, they become smiths of some kind. But it's this sort of like very bespoke armor that is created. Kind of like whatever those websites are where you send them your measurements and they send you like a box full of clothing that's sort of like tailored to whatever your unique style is. It's sort of like that. They have like a messaging stone service where you just call and you
Amazing.
just get, I'm a size 34 waist. Oh yeah, I've got that armor. They the prettiest cosplayer at the con.
Aww.
And after 2 hours, Elindra, you've been working very carefully, and you sort of been like both you and Fig are very like micro versus macro right now, like staring at individual pieces. Not really like you're talking and you're checking in and you're sharing the hot goss about Chadduck and Elindra, and you're talking about, all of this. And you're also like drinking during this time. Like,
Tara just
100%.
has a cup and she's just like got her arms up and like just
And
we found a straw.
And it's one of those moments where it's like in the Princess Diaries after Anne Hathaway like gets spun around in the chair and you get stepped back and suddenly Miracles Happen starts playing. Welcome to Genovia. And suddenly Atarah, you see, like Elindra, you're holding up the helmet, the reflective helmet. And Atarah, you've never received a piece of armor like this. And it might have something to do with the fact that your training has never required for you to have armor, as you are, not that this is hampering you in any way, but it is something that is going to take a little bit of getting used to, because there is a weight to it. It is also, though it is surprisingly light, but it's different. And where you're from, you've always been very light and almost dance-like in how you moved with your weapons. But this, very form-fitting. It is very much giving you freedom of movement with your arms, your legs. It is not awkward by any means. And there's this beautiful moment where Elindra, they finish like stitching one final thing, and they're like using their hands, using the heat metal to just sort of like form pieces, and they get it just right. And Fig, you're like using just, sand and like your tools to sort of just carve these symbols and these leaves, almost like tiny little etched leaves and branches into the armor. And then suddenly the two of you have this moment where you just step back. And it's the first time that you actually get a look at the thing that you've created. And it is epic. Truly,
we're amazing.
Truly gorgeous.
Atarah, yeah, you look sensational.
How have you guys done this before? Wow, this is
the first time.
Oh, this is great. My mother is going to kill me.
Why?
What?
This dress was very expensive. It took them 3 weeks to make.
Oops. Well, it only took 2 hours to take apart.
There you go. Maybe I will tell her that I will lead with that. Because clearly this is much better.
Let me talk to your mother. I'm very charming.
Do you have to return the dress to her?
Technically,
it was made
no.
for you.
Yes. But this is much better.
If she doesn't know.
Is she able to, is her rapier still on her back, or did they take it off?
Yeah, they've removed it.
Okay,
they removed it once because they had to like get you out of a portion of the dress.
They
removed it because it was the I almost said holster. The scabbard that the rapier was in was attached to the bone of the corset.
Okay, perfect.
And so they had to sort of like yank it, remove it, but now
no, the corset's underneath. Remember, it just goes right back in and then comes right back out.
That's okay. So
it's a hidden sheath
pocket.
Yeah, it's sort of like very much more subtle, but kind of like Witcher vibes, with the blade just being tucked right back there.
Something you could put your hair over and no one would know. Oh, or your hood up.
Wonderful.
She'll
like. I just assume this whole time she's been standing on a chair. This entire time she's just been standing on a chair for 2 solid hours. And she'll like jump down and like retrieve the rapier, which I'm gonna say they put on like the bar where they can see it, and she starts like shifting around and like testing maneuvers as she is she making?
Whoosh,
She's
whoosh,
doing it.
whoosh.
She's doing it. She still doesn't. She thinks that's all her.
I catch on to what you're doing, and I add little bits of like sparkles that,
Yes.
at certain points, like when she actually stabs with my prestidigitation, I'm just like
Yes.
sparkle.
We're like the hype men. We
Sparkle.
seriously are.
And she's like jabbing forward, and the sparkles are appearing. She's like, "Oh, this must be an upgrade because of your armor. Oh, you both are magical then.
And you
Wonderful
look so
angels like that.
fearsome and so skilled.
You're
Oh,
beautiful.
I better be. Well, it's all because of you guys.
You can kill me anytime.
yes.
Don't
You
say
were
that.
Listen, we
great
cannot.
Don't say
That's
that.
not. That's not how this is going to. We cannot. No, you must stay alive. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
Well,
We
I don't
cannot-
plan to
no.
die.
I'm going to do more than not plan for you to die. I'm going to prevent you from dying, and also Fig, because you are wonderful. You are.
Appreciate
This
it.
is great. You've been nothing but kind, and I've never met a satyr, and I'm fascinated. I've also never met a tiefling before now.
If you've never met a tiefling before now, what are you?
I am
So
not a tiefling.
technically,
Okay, there we go. So, retcon that, and she'll go, I've never seen myself. Nobody in my family is a tiefling. I have never seen any of this. I do not have horns. This is all very different. I do not look like this.
What?
No, I don't look like this either.
What do you all naturally look like? This is me. So what? I'm not following. What is this?
I'm still not convinced she's not my sister.
My family is we are human. We are not tiefling or elf or.
From what I've read, humans don't look like that. So what makes this like this?
I am sort of connecting some dots. Possibly. I think it is my deal with your father.
Oh,
Yes.
You didn't.
What?
Never make a deal with the devil.
Or a fae. Did you all make deals? Oh. Oh no.
Well, if we're big,
It changes everything about you making deals.
spilling tea here, I was already 7 feet under, so to speak, 7 years under. So it did not
You're
matter.
dead.
I believe
went-
so.
You went to Daddy.
Well,
Or did he call you from somewhere?
a little bit of both. I was there, and I'm not sure how. Obviously, she's gonna gesture to her gorgeous armor. The original state of this dress. I don't know how I ended up 7 feet under. And your father did retrieve me from the ice. How I stayed in ice. Can humans do not freeze like that? Again, she's got a negative one. to
No,
intelligence,
humans
I
have
believe.
a very, very low tolerance to a lot of elements.
Everything. Yes.
Everything. They're fleshy. They're not very durable. And Fig says, and infernal, can you understand me? To Atarah.
Yes.
And to
Yes.
Elindra. Can you understand
Yes, of
me?
course I can.
Of course. And she switches back to common. I was just curious.
What do you mean?
With what?
Why can you
I don't
speak
know.
my language?
I'm speaking common.
Wait, what?
What do you mean? You didn't switch. What do you mean? You did not switch a language.
Oh, Lord.
Yes.
Oh, do it again.
So she was speaking
mean?
infernal.
So yeah, Fig just says in one sentence, like, can you, and common, and it goes, understand me in infernal.
I switched to Elvish. Are you sure you understand her?
I understand you,
I
Elindra.
speak infernal, I guess. Now I do. I never quite caught on. I've only understood a couple of words here and there my entire
Still
life.
in Elvish. And anything else?
You're muffled. I don't know what you're saying.
First of all, why do you speak Elvish and well, okay, Elvish maybe, but infernal? I'm very interested, Fig.
Of course, me too. It's great. It's great, you know. Why not?
Shit! I accepted a gift from a fae.
Yeah.
Well done.
Twice.
Still the best gift ever, though.
Twice.
Oops.
And a drink. Damn it!
I'm not counting. I'm not counting at all.
Damn it!
I mean, technically,
Oh!
it's not a hard and fast rule. I feel like it does technically have to be offered, like formally by the Fae before it is accepted, and then the ramifications of it are understood. This was just something. It's not something that just sort of happens just because.
Oh yeah,
Gotcha.
no, yeah. Fig is actually not even a spoiler alert. Fig is actually one of the sweeter Fae you could ever meet. There's not like a double entendre on this point. Also, just given her certain situation too, there's not really anything for her to be able to fall back on to call in the deal easily, just clearly from where we are. So.
Amazing.
Is your deal to be alive again?
Yes. And all I have to do is protect you, but I saw something weird before you went upstairs, when I shook your hand. I don't know why I didn't say this while I was standing on a chair for 2 hours, but here we are. Your father was injured. He had been stabbed, and it did not look right. Do you know, if he dies, what happens to me?
Well,
So, Elindra,
you don't want to meet who takes over.
You know that you're not familiar with every single weapon that has ever been fashioned, but in the past, when Mephistopheles has been forced to fight or defend himself, if he has ever been wounded, it's usually a very quick healing process. And if he is ever killed, if he is ever not within Kenya, he just comes back to Kenya and sort of reforms over a short period of time. This would seem to be different, though. Something is different with this wound.
The sword that hurt him, it was demonic in nature. At least I think so. Wielded by one. So might take him a little longer to heal.
It did not look so good. That might be the human in me speaking, but typically that sort of placement, and like she'll put her hands on like her torso in that same spot, like that is not ideal for anybody.
Honestly, I'm not sure if I'll even keep living if he dies. So I'm not sure what will happen. I don't think he can.
What do you
Not
mean by
permanently.
that? Why would you? That's not how children work.
I'm not. Hang on. I just take a few steps back, and then I light up in my full elven hellfire form, which is just bright blue flames. Actually, there's a picture in our chat
in the character section.
It's Atarah, where once before you stood someone who looked to be elf presenting. Suddenly, it's almost like portions of the dress suddenly become flames themselves.
Wait, I take off my horns first.
Oh, yes.
I take my horns off first.
Yeah. And you put them on the bar, and then the dress doesn't look like it's burning away per se, but it is like portions of it are fire, and Elindra's entire body, face is completely engulfed in flame, and it's like they've become fire itself. But this fire looks different. And even in the brief 7 years that you were within Kenya, you do know what hellfire looks like.
Oh, all right. Oh, and he is the only one who can access hellfire. No? Yes?
He
No?
made it.
Yes. But has he taught anyone else how to wield it or use it or passed the tradition through your family and, as families do?
I don't know. The Hellfire is my brothers and sisters. We are the Hellfire. I don't know. No one else wields it but us.
I'll say so, Elindra, you would actually, in terms of the information, in terms of what you know, based off of the questions that Atarah is asking, you know that you are a creature of hellfire. You belong to a collective organization known as the Unity, which is basically the song of hellfire personified. And when Mephistopheles chooses, he takes the individual flames contained within the Unity and he sends them out into the plains to do his bidding. And in terms of who else has access to hellfire, there are other people who have access to hellfire, but it is the grade of hellfire that exists within Kenya, within the Mephistar, created by Mephistopheles himself, is a cut above.
Okay. But I'm playing her as she doesn't know everything, right?
Given that I see what you're saying.
She knows bits and pieces. There's a whole bunch of memories mashed in there.
Yeah. I'll say, in as much as what I've just shared, that is what you know.
Yeah.
It isn't, but it's almost like it doesn't come all at once. Sort of like very halting and spaced out. And you recognize that, I was a different person when I remembered this.
Yeah. We get born, sort of. Like I said, I have a family. I do. An elf family. This time around.
All right. Keep going.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
I'm not really sure. This is all very new information for me.
I'm fire. I come from bigger fire. And when Daddy decides that he needs a spy, he sends us out, or took me out of there, put me here, and I come back with a story.
And you are... How long are you allowed out of the torch?
I don't know.
How old is Elindra?
She thinks she's 24.
Okay.
She thinks she's 24. She knows she's older. She doesn't know how old.
Okay.
because she doesn't know how many times she's been other places. Those are not memories she has.
How long she's been 24.
She's been 24 for 24 years. I grew up. I was a little thing. And I don't know. When I'm done, I'm done. And I go home.
All right. So I will just make sure that you get home. That is my goal. The rest
Okay,
of it
but I don't want to go home yet, though.
All right. What are you supposed to be doing while you are out?
I don't know. I think I did my job.
And you do not wish to return to your family?
Which one?
Your father and your siblings, or I suppose
Which
your
one?
elven family. You have multiple fathers?
Well, I have Daddy Creator, and I have
Right.
Elven Daddy.
Well, I said your elven family. We could swing by their dwelling on the way back. But it's not a problem. I can keep you safe there too.
Yes, I suppose. Do you like the cold?
Not particularly, but
Yes, suffice
Well,
to say, none
it's
of us
very
like
cold
the
where I'm
cold.
from.
I mean, we can. There is for the occasion, but I don't think any of us like the cold.
no. But if it's what you need to do to return home, then we will figure it out. We shall do that.
Which one would you
I
want to go
mean,
to more?
technically, if you return me home, even if it's to my elven family, you have completed your job.
I do not think you are correct, but I am sorry, Fig. I did not hear you. Could you repeat that? I was lost in something that did not pan out.
Sure, it is for, and she points over to you, Elindra, for you. Which family you want to see more of?
Neither. I'm good here.
And from what I see, it's polar opposites from when you talk about cold to hellfire. Am I correct on that?
Or what do you mean? Where I come from,
Your
well,
family.
Kenya is a place of ice.
And then the other place is a place of what?
A place of ice.
The other place.
My elven family is in the Crystal Expanse. It's the ice mountains at the edge of, all of this.
Atarah, that name definitely rings a bell. You suddenly there's like this flash of memory of little Atarah sitting in a classroom with your siblings all sort of around you. Some of them sitting on the floor because they're wee. But you, of course, being the oldest, you're sitting at a desk with some other younger siblings sitting at smaller desks. And at the front of this, what looks to be a classroom, there's these very large bookshelves, and in the center of which there is a board of some kind, at which your mother is illustrating certain histories of the many different peoples that exist within Hordromia. And one of the histories that she happens to be going over is the exodus that took place for the elven peoples in Nimrion, and how they uprooted themselves from the Velven Forest and traveled north into what is come to be known as the Crystal Expanse. And they took their magics and they took their arcane abilities and their histories into a place of seclusion and almost a type of exile. And they have founded a new home within the harsh environment of the Crystal Expanse. It is sort of, with the memory comes this feeling of almost of whimsy, and how there is sort of this, it sounds amazing and magical.
Okay. Well, I mean, naturally they're in the Crystal Expanse because they went there. So they would not have been anywhere else. So if you want to see, if we want to go there, we should go there, maybe. Or I just think that you should go anywhere that's not here, and preferably whatever direction I came from.
Well, I could take you where you came from.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
If you want to go to the Crystal Expanse, we can. It's just very far.
As this
I don't know.
conversation about going places is taking place, going to the Crystal Expanse, going to Kenya, however dubious that decision would be, what is Fig thinking?
Well, she literally was just thinking like, well, if those two go anywhere, gods be damned if she's actually going to like not tag along.
Mhm.
But also she was kind of thinking as in when they were talking, especially like calls to like, will she be able to? It seems like because there would be a specific realm that they may go to that may be a little uncomfortable for her.
Oh. I'll keep you warm. Wink.
I'm sure you will.
This is all happening in Fig's mind. I just want to be clear. This wasn't said out loud.
I know.
And she's sitting here is like a little gentle pong going back and forth.
As you all are having this conversation, who has the highest passive perception?
I know.
11.
14.
15.
15.
Ooh.
Elindra, okay. Elindra, as you are sort of having this discussion with Atarah, who, as the conversation is taking place, they seem to become more and more interesting as they are sharing their knowledge of things. And so it seems like, in Elindra's mind, they're always sort of see themselves as sort of the smartest person in the room. But here you're getting this back and forth with this person, which is refreshing. One of the things you notice as you're having this conversation, though, is as you look outside, it is snowing again. And but in a very soft way. And it's about afternoon. So there is just with the mountains where they are, the river valley that you are within the city of Thartiad, the sun is only really ever truly illuminating above the space for a certain period of time. And right now it's about a little afternoon. And so the snow is sort of like coming down very thick, accumulating on the ground, creating a fresh new layer. But not in like the unsafe way that you had experienced the previous day when you were coming down the mountain. It is very magical looking. And
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
As you, one of the things that sort of it strikes you in this moment is that you really have only been in this one tavern since you
I was
arrived,
just gonna say we should explore.
since you arrived within this city.
Perhaps we should investigate the town, see if we can find supplies for travel, if that's our plan. I
guess
mean,
so.
You're so very optimistic, darling. You just pat your cheek. I guess so.
Oh, friends.
One thing that she does she wants to name drop. Hang on, I think it's my town, my city is Elithir. Hang on,
Elhethier.
Elithir. I I go, so you're from Elithir? She seems to know, so I'm just poking.
Does that sound familiar to me at all, other than something I might
Elithir
have heard?
is a name that you have heard.
Mhm.
It is not what you know. It is not where you're from.
Could you tell me about it? Is it a city, a village, or does it
It's
look
the
like?
capital city where the elves live. In the Crystal Expanse.
All right. I feel like
Swing and a miss. All
I
right.
should have known that.
It
Well, I
sounds-
don't live there, so.
Well, if you've been dead for a while, I'm sure it's slow coming back.
Oh.
One thing that does come to Atarah's mind, as at this point you also at a 14 passive perception, you
Correct.
have also
15.
noticed. Oh,
I'm 14.
no.
Oh,
you're-
okay.
Atarah's 14. You also notice at this point the snow, the magical-looking snow that is sort of falling outside. You do know that it was definitely warmer than this place, and there was sand.
Alright. I know some things, but maybe you are right, and it will come back to me at different times. I am just feeling. I'm remembering lots of warmth and sun from different things. And it's not
Like-
it's
Like
not.
Sarah Steer.
That
No.
name
deserts.
immediately. That name immediately. The moment Elindra says it, Surastir, the kingdom of Surastir, the desert of the Silent Mother, and the dunes. As Atarah is suddenly flood of memories and how you would sometimes be left out at the very edge of the city, at the very beginnings of the very boundaries of where the Silent Mother would stretch. And you remember making your way through, oddly enough, a neighborhood known as the Candles, and seeing all of the tieflings around you as you would make your way back home, as a way of sort of proving yourself to your mother and to your family that you are capable as the eldest. And you remember, as the memory of the traveling through the Candles and making it back within the city walls, the name that sticks out is Brekka.
If I am correct, I am possibly from Brekka. It feels right.
The only place I really know of deserts is in Sarah Steer.
It is
Across the
Yeah.
ocean.
all right. Wonderful.
Big. At the mention of
Yeah.
deserts, that's different. You've only been, when you've been on Odromia, or when you've been in Odromia, you've only been to Ashcaleen, and
Ooh.
the sort of the boundaries of Ashcaleen, the city, but also within the boundaries of the Circus of the Twilight Serenade. And that has always been, it's like, you've gone to other cities, you've been to other worlds, but it's never been to a place where there was a desert,
Right.
which is a word that sounds very much like dessert. And that is something that sounds delightful.
Yeah.
So, are we choosing in this moment to explore
Yes, the town.
the town?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna look for supplies to bring with us. If we have to travel, we can't go in the cold like
Okay.
this.
All right. So, the way the city is constructed, and Atarah, you didn't really get a sense of it, but as you exit the tavern, you see that the city of Thartiod, I guess, where you are, It is a walled city with the wall that goes out to what look to be docks. These massive docks with the scaffolding that sort of stretches up about a decent height that look to have been used at one time, maybe for the construction of some kind of vessel. But as you look around, you see that it looks like the city was left. Like, it's obviously dwarven architecture, but it looks like the dwarves just left, and the city has remained, for the most part, completely untouched, and has slowly, over time, been reclaimed by the wilds outside of the city. So you see places where trees have pierced into the walls and vines have slowly outgrown. It's almost like, anyone ever seen the movie I Am Legend with Will Smith?
Mm-hmm.
It's like that almost, where suddenly, where once roads were, a field suddenly stands, and all manner of flora and fauna have just sort of come in and just reclaimed the ground. As you all, are you splitting up to look throughout the city, or are you sticking together?
I know those two are BOGO options, so Fig is going to be with them.
Yeah, staying together seems like a good idea.
Okay. All right. Very quickly, it is made apparent with the snow, with the cold. While you have managed to make Atarah's attire more bearable, the two of you are frightfully underdressed for an environment like this one. So, in terms of acquiring supplies, acquiring, I guess, some better garb to travel in, that seems to be at the top of what needs to be acquired.
Elindra will spend more time looking to make sure that find things for Fig to wear, because she's at least, like, Elindra's at least resistant to cold.
Mm-hmm.
So she's looking to make sure that her traveling companions aren't going to freeze on her.
Okay.
I like, something up here, like big sleeves. I think that would work. Scarves, lots of scarves.
Ooh.
I think it would be good. Just I want to,
Well,
through my neck.
I would like to remind you that this is an old dwarven city. So I think we should take what we get.
Are you saying that the fabric is going to be cut in shorter pieces? I mean, it's
Yes,
fine. We
yes,
just put a couple
yes, I
pieces together. It'd be just as long. It'd be
Yes.
fine.
I need every one of you to give me an investigation check, just to see what kind of things we recover.
Can't even see. It's so dark in my room.
And this is my Fig dice, by the way. It is 11.
11. Okay.
Thoroughly
Two.
average.
10.
10. Okay. You do manage to recover the things that you set out to. It just takes a long
Wait, I cast
time.
guidance on myself.
You have to tell me that.
I have
before you
guidance
roll.
too, and I just did not.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So it does take a long time to sort of like make your way through to the different buildings. There are some buildings that, even though they were not like destroyed or attacked, it's just through the reclamation of many years, the root systems of trees have sort of like broken up the foundations, and so you have to make sure that you're on a sure footing as you go into some of these buildings. Thankfully, dwarven architecture being as sturdy as it is, you were able to make your way, no problem. Everything, there are no traps at all to speak of. It's cold out. So you do, as you go through some of these buildings, you take a moment to sort of rest, and after a while, you do find this one building in particular that has some more. There's more finery in it, and it looks like maybe perhaps royalty may have stayed in this building at one time. You do find some dwarven clothing, but the thing, I'll say Elindra on an 11.
10.
10. On a 10, you find these very fine, almost velvet, but like with like mink fur lined blankets that are about the size of dwarves, but on a 6-foot satyr would make an excellent scarf.
Ah, well, we're in luck.
Oh, I like luck.
And I'll go and wrap it around your neck. Look, isn't it soft? A little dusty. But
Oh,
prestidigitize.
This is nice. Did you just prestidigitize it?
I prestidigitized it clean.
Lovely. And then can figure like do a little bit of druid craft so that way it looks more and fits a little bit more to her arms. It's kind of like buffered a bit, you know, insulated a little bit more.
Sure.
It needs to
So you-
drape properly.
Okay. Yeah, you were able to make it, you know, so that it feels like you've always worn it.
We pull out the helmet so you can
Yeah.
Yeah.
fit it for yourself. Like, we're-
Uh-huh.
Flawless, darling. Flawless. Yes. So you do that.
Thank you.
Atarah, as you are making your way through this one building that, you know, Elindra has found a scarf for Fig. You don't find anything that would actually make anybody warmer.
Okay, cool.
I'm
being so helpful. I'm like, what the fuck?
yeah, you
That's
actually
a jar, darling. A jar.
you actually are
That's stupid.
you're very distracted by sort of all of the different things that you spy within this building. And whether it's because you have a new sword yourself and it makes these really cool whirring sounds and
Stop.
and these sparkles, you find you're sort of just, your hand is sort of just like grazing along this one very large bookshelf, and you sort of like, as your hand grazes across, one of the books sort of falls up and out onto the floor.
Oh, I meant to do that. She'll pick it up.
Okay. The title is in Dwarvish. Do you speak Dwarvish?
No.
Okay. It looks like a children's book.
Perfect. Pictures.
Yes. So as you open it, there are actually beautifully crafted illustrations. And it appears, again, you don't speak Dwarvish, but the story, in terms of like its storyboarding and in terms of the overall arc, it seems to be very easy to follow. It seems to tell the story of a young Dwarvish girl who fell through, or maybe wandered through, a magical doorway and found maybe this place of wonder and enchantment, floating, what looked to be like floating mountains. And on one of these floating mountains, they find this sword. Looks to be just they think of it as a toy sword. But then there's this one picture, this one illustration that shows that this dwarven child suddenly is distraught and that they've lost their way. And they become very sad and they call out to the gods to help them find their way home. And after this cry, they are visited by what looks to be an elf. who takes them into their charge and eventually guides them back to another doorway where they are eventually returned home with a sword, with their toy sword, as a trophy of their little adventure.
Okay.
And that is all you're able to extract from the illustrations.
This feels very Grimm's fairy tale to me. After she's flipped through it a couple of times, she'll like turn it around to whichever picture has like, it would be like the child leaving like the elf like showing them the door back home. So it has like a picture of the elf, the door, and then like the next picture is like the dwarven girl with the sword at home again, and she's like gonna like lift it up and like kind of walk over, like show the other two and be like, I don't speak any of this language, but these pictures were very helpful.
How were they helpful?
Well, I understand this little dwarven girl went through a door and then found an elf and got a sword.
Okay, and how is that helpful?
The
Dwarven
doors.
children do go through doors.
Yes, but the
You're
doors.
really great at making doors. The
Yeah,
doors.
we could use the doors. I don't know
Okay.
how.
We can
Someone
use
around
the
here,
door.
maybe.
I go and find a door and I just like walk through it. I'm like, oh look, a door.
I mean, like
just
a
being
magical
so
door.
petty right now.
I know.
I mean, a magical door. Like, if this is like,
Why
aren't
didn't you
all,
say
No, because those are just
door?
all around us.
aren't all folk stories and lore and things like that? Aren't
You
they?
don't even know if that's actually what this says.
I don't know. That's why I'm asking the two of you. I do not speak Dwarven.
I do speak Dwarvish.
Neither do I.
Wait,
Pictures.
Elindra does speak Dwarvish?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
That is why I'm looking at the pictures. I do not know magic as well as the two of you seem to with these doors.
Being magical and being adept in speaking an entirely different dialect are two separate things. Okay.
Looking at these pictures, do I know? Because again, Elindra she does read a lot when she can. Do I know a similar story?
Give me a history check.
Can I give her guidance?
Listen
Sure.
to me right now. You don't screw me.
Listen, I gave you guidance, so let me get my D4.
This is your one chance. I will put you
Prove yourself.
in the vault. You son of a bitch. It's cocked.
I gave you 1 point.
It's cocked. I'm choosing
Plus
a different
my
dice.
one.
It didn't listen at all. Okay.
How very
So-
Chadduck of it.
Chadduck is a good boy. Okay, so that is a 12.
12.
Plus my 1.
Yep, that's plus your 1.
On a 12, this seems to be a very different story than there's no story that you can actually pinpoint, which is like, oh, this is the story of that one dwarven child who went into a portal and discovered this other universe. Nothing like that.
Okay.
But the thing that you recognize, Elindra, and the thing that you're drawn to in the pictures is not the fact that the dwarven child found a sword in another realm and went home. It's actually the elf and the armor that they're wearing. And you realize that they're not actually an elf. They're an Eladrin. And
Is the armor Bahamut's armor?
it is not.
Okay.
It's the armor of a cleric guardian.
Ooh.
Cleric guardian of a specific.
The way the story goes, there are guardians who are sworn that exist within the Feywild, that their charge is to guard the portals to the planes
see.
I turn to Fig and I go, do you know the story of the guardians that guard the planes? The doors to the planes? They're Fae, right? This is Fae. This is an Eladrin, and I'm holding up the book now. An Eladrin cleric?
So, Fig, this is the first time that like the picture like you have
Look at it
to like study it. Again, this story is something that you're not familiar with. You don't know of any story about a dwarven child. But you've seen these clerics. You've seen them many times because you've had to travel the planes and travel between worlds. And Korth Vol has a decent relationship with the Eladrin clerics. They are also protectors of the Council of Nine, which exist within the Citadel, within the Feywild. And there is a mythology that surrounds them, and how they have protected the portals of the planes for many thousands of years. They're essentially a Jedi Order. Basically, picture that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So they're evil.
Depending on what side you're on of them.
I'm sorry, but they have child soldiers. Are you telling me they're the good guys?
You're not wrong.
The whole point of of balancing the Force was to destroy the Jedi because they're sons of bitches.
Does the sword look familiar?
I have feelings.
At all. Does the sword look familiar?
In terms of the overall story, it is very much portrayed as what looks to be a child's toy.
Okay.
But
so it's okay.
Give me an investigation check. And I'm saying, like, this is you really trying to like.
It doesn't matter. I have a -1.
This is you really trying to investigate the specific pictures. Again, not understanding Dwarvish.
Can I give you an Arcana check or a history, maybe a religion?
You rolled a nat 1, didn't you? You rolled a nat 1. You rolled a 2. So
you try so hard though. So
it's a dirty one. It's a
pretty picture.
Okay.
Look at this pretty sword. For a toy, it's really accurate.
Yeah, it looks like a toy. That was this dwarven child found in this weird mythical realm.
Amazing.
Can I give you a religion or like an Arcana check of some sort?
Arcana's not going to help me either. I'm just here to hit things and move.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You're with two of the smartest people. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm only smart because I'm wearing a headband. Okay.
Yeah. Again, all three of you at various points of your like individual studies of this children's story, really regret the fact that you never learned Dwarvish.
Yeah. At all.
But, Elindra, you do know that it's sort of like an afterthought as you have that realization, oh man, it's a pity I don't understand Dwarvish. You do know some people who
recognize
Oh, go ahead.
The kid at all as any type of dwarven pantheon god?
No.
No?
No.
I'm trying to think. I'm like, this toy sword is not a toy sword.
As you were thinking these thoughts, one thought sticks in your mind at this point. Someone who does speak Dwarvish, and that would be your brother. Or I'm sorry, not your brother.
My sister.
Your sister, Illyria Shadowgast.
There are other people that speak Dwarvish. I'm just saying.
Yes, but
We don't
she's very she has an expert tongue for languages.
Yes, and for lying. Okay, so my sister speaks Dwarvish. We could go and see her, but I mean, from here to there, we'd have to find someone that speaks Dwarvish.
That sounds easy enough.
So
Maybe.
easy.
It is.
We ask everyone we see if they speak Dwarvish. Literally everyone.
We have seen zero, so I mean, of course, the
We have seen
possibility of
zero
the next
yet.
person.
Don't.
I mean, the one that we gave. Look at this one, and then the other one is now fused, shifted suit of armor, and then this one, her. And I'm pointing at Atarah, like she's not there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, her. So I mean, the odds for us finding another dwarf, I mean, it can only go up from here. We are
Exactly, and you
bottom of
don't
the
need to
barrel.
speak. First of all, do you think I'm a dwarf?
No.
Us finding another dwarf. Do you think I'm a dwarf?
No, you were less hairy than I thought. Now, your boyfriend on the other end, I mean, if you two had offspring, it could
That's
look
not
like a
how
funny color.
genealogy works.
No?
You
I
would
mean,
need to have some.
Procreation
it's like
works.
they're hairy,
That's just not
you're
how.
not, and you put together, it's
I
going
don't
to
even think I
like
can
it.
have children.
Oh,
I think I have to ask.
oh yes. So
I'd
like
have to ask Daddy to make me one. Like,
make you an extra baby. That's so
Daddy, can I
impulse
have a
purchase.
piece of flame to be a child?
Yes, that's an impulse purchase. You can
That's an impulse. That is an impulse purchase. You can't give it back, so no refunds.
just snuff it out. I can snuff out your child for you.
I mean,
I mean, we could take it to the
That
This whole
field.
conversation
I
has
mean,
gotten very dark
that's
very
that's
quick.
gotten very dark. Also, I mean, generally we try not
Chaos
to
meter.
extinguish ourselves.
when have either of you met a dwarf other than when they, visit?
I've read a lot about
Fig
them.
and Elindra. Elindra, you remember seeing some dwarves when you were in Ashcaleen. Fig, you've encountered many dwarves.
Okay.
So most of them are dead,
It's
as far as I'm aware.
Fig, you know that they're at least in terms of the stories that you've collected over the years of passing through this particular portion of Odromia, the dwarves are no longer within their original
they're up.
kingdom.
Yeah.
yeah.
They have, and this checks out with what you witnessed yesterday, sort of the massive city ship that was submerged
Yeah.
within the river.
Yeah.
But you do know that
Yeah, she never saw that.
because of where you are, there are probably, you're not entirely sure, but you're within the boundaries of the old kingdom of where the dwarves used to reside before they eventually uprooted themselves, took their culture and their kingdom, and put them on massive city ships that then they set sail on into
Pirates.
into the blue seas of the Pervian Sea and the Sea of Hilo.
You called it the Pervian Sea? The Sea of Pervs?
No,
That's all
what it's
I hear.
it's called the
Pervian
Pervian
Sea.
Sea.
Mhm.
The Pervy Sea. Yep, I can't not. What have you done to me? Why
Yeah.
would you?
It's like a Matt Mercer naming things. Just
Yeah,
all of
the
them.
Pervy Sea. Okay, good person.
All right.
Can we take a
TPK.
2-second break?
Yes, please.
I have to
just-
go to the bathroom
Just
so
got
badly.
here.
I gotta pee.
Go ahead, take a quick break. We'll say come back in like 5. Is that okay?
That was good.
As you, all three of you, just are poring over this child story and sort of like tossing out like different ideas, like, oh, this is a very interesting story about this child. And isn't it interesting? Like, we're thinking of like getting Elindra back to her homeland, a place of safety, perhaps. Maybe getting them back to the Crystal Expanse. That would fulfill some kind of bargain or contract that Atarah has. Fig, kind of the mind of just like, that would be a great story. Whatever journey you all undertake. Over the period of looking for provisions, you do manage to find provisions, by the way. You do find some foodstuffs that you're able to sort of like put together and store effectively. You do find definitely some articles of clothing you're going to have to like hodgepodge together and DIY to make it so that it is, better for the environment. Mainly just snow. You're able to find some fur and basically create some like fur jacket, sort of like not really parka per se, but just wraps that are definitely able to keep some of the harsher elements out and keep you warm. You are able to find all of these items eventually. It does take you the better part of the day as you are exploring. Who has the story, by the way? Who's keeping it? Okay, Tara's keeping it. Very well.
Unless you guys...
All right.
Anybody else wants to.
As the day comes to a close, you've spent the better part of the... Like, you had your morning and your 2 hours in the morning where you were just sort of like fashioning new clothes and armor for your new companion slash protector question mark. And you spend the rest of the day sort of just exploring the abandoned city of Thartiad. And the city itself still holds up really well. Like it's like the dwarves just disappeared. And you do find like there are several like old smithy shops that are like, blacksmiths fashioning weapons and massive engines and all sorts of things, all sorts of items that you sort of are able to see all around, just sort of scattered. There's also, of course, old dwarven armor. There's dwarven weaponry that has just been abandoned as it was not needed for the next leg of the journey for the dwarven people. The percentage of the city that you explore, you eventually decide it's about, say, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's getting towards evening at this point. With the way that the river valley is shaped, the sun has moved past the eastern mountain range and is now the light is gone from the valley. It is much darker now because the sun is no longer shining directly on it. And you can see that the sun has sort of set behind the eastern mountain range. Ever so often, as you are moving between the buildings, you do hear the faintest of rumblings coming from the very active volcano that is north of you. Nothing necessarily to worry about. I mean, yes and no. I mean, it's like it is an active volcano, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be raining down molten pumice on you anytime soon. After your time of exploration and gathering the resources you need for travel, you return back to the tavern. How do you wish to spend the remainder of the evening?
Elindra's plotting a course home because that's where they want to go to get the book. Okay. Not to mention there's huge libraries there, so if you're looking for stuff, maybe something that will spark your mind.
Give me a history check, Elindra.
I don't want to choose you. I don't trust you no more. 17 plus, what's my history? Plus 4.
21. Okay. As you are sort of like plotting the next leg of your journey, you think of several different routes. There are, of course, some abandoned boats. So you could technically, if you were able to sort of figure out how to refit one so that you could be crewed by 3 people, you think you'd be able to sail up the river valley all the way to the sea.
Then go along the coast to
Yes.
Nilhelund.
There are several cities that you would be able to get to that you would then, once you arrive, you would then take overland routes to Elhathir. There is, of course, traveling overland over the eastern mountain range, down into Nimrion itself, getting closer relatively to Ashcaleen, but also traveling overland, just making your way through all kinds of different potential, like there would be a lot of adventure. We'll just say there would be a lot of potential obstacles to you getting to. It's definitely the harder of the routes that you're considering. Okay. The other possible route, and I'll say off of a 21, you do get this route has more promise and maybe a little less work, but is still some degree of danger. Traveling into the abandoned, because you know it's abandoned, it's got to be abandoned. Traveling into the abandoned city of Thondarul. Because while it is abandoned, you do know that the dwarves probably left behind teleportation circles that would quicken your travel to wherever you would need to go.
I'm willing to try for a circle. I mean, do you really want to walk? And I don't know how to boat. Yes.
Atarah, you
Me?
do. You
Know how
would
to
know
boat?
how
Yes.
to boat. Given the fact that your family is a merchant family within, or was, not sure what they've been up to for the last 7 years. But given that your family is a merchant family in Brecca, being around ships and being on ships is a part of your life.
That is not a problem. We just have to. I mean, we could. I do not recommend getting on just like a piece of wood and floating on water, but it can be done. My brother and I, but we did get in trouble, so do not. I can get us to where we need to go on the water, so I can boat. I've never had it put like that, but that is not a problem.
What? Okay, can we say that I found a map while we were looking?
In your exploration of the city, yes, there have been plenty of rooms at this point where there are either maps that are like on these large tables that the dwarves left behind, or there are carved reliefs of the world on the walls, or there are just parchment documents of the different portions of the kingdom of Numerion, of Brecca, very few of Brecca, but like you do see that you're able to piece together like the different parts of the world.
So on the map, I point out, well, listen, if we can find a boat, we can take it from Thartiard, which is where we are, up to here, where she points out where Nilhelond is, and then get to to Elhathir. Or we can take the circle and try and go that way, which is much quicker. But what I wanted to point out is here, and then she points to the very wait, hang on, no, I don't even know. To Amolrion. It's a shorter distance from Amolrion to Saga. And then we could
we might be able to help you find your family. That's where the sand and stuff is.
Yes, but it will do me no good to find my family now if I am.
Well, that's why we
required
hit
to-
my home on the
to
way
get
there.
help. Well, I'm just saying these things out
Homesies.
loud.
What is the warmest destination and journey that we could get there?
On a boat.
I mean, the warmest if we get the teleportation circle to Elhethir itself. We might even be able to take the teleportation circle from Elhethir to, I don't know, Brekka?
Yes. Can we? Is
Well,
that
as
a
long as I can find what it looks like.
That's the trick, isn't it?
Okay. I was like, is it possible? Are there?
I mean,
is
it's
that a-
technically it's possible, but
Okay.
it would have to be.
I mean,
There'd
the
be
palace
there'd
should
be a
have it.
complicated series of steps in order to figure out how to get there.
I mean, is it complicated? I'm just saying the palace would have it. And I might be able to get into the palace. Or at
And
least
you-
my daddy can.
And you can activate this teleportation circle.
Yeah, no problem.
Then it's settled. Quickest way, warmest way. It's a win-win.
Just if you wanted to go home.
There's a lot of we're talking about circles, and there's lots of circles that we might have to go through as well to get. We can try it. I'm not very good with the whole magic thing, so I suppose the two of you would know more than I do. But things are very protected. At that moment, she's gonna kind of shift what she's wearing around to look and see if there is a rune on her shoulder. I'm thinking I know the answer to this, but I'm curious.
Hold, please.
Okay. It is. I am willing to try, but it could potentially be more dangerous, even though you're thinking it could be quicker. These areas are very protected.
Can I ask, how do you feel with your family?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I quite enjoy my family.
Okay. It's just as long as you don't tell them about the dress, right? Yes.
Well, it was just an expense, and you do not, just like I would not destroy this lovely armor you've made me. It would upset you, right? Like if I went and I
It
well,
only
I would.
7 years old.
context.
I mean,
I agree.
it's an old
when you
wound
put
by now.
when you put it in the scope of that, then it's much less terrifying. But to
I
me,
feel like
it
they'd
was
be more happy that you'd be back.
I agree, but to me, it was yesterday, and at the moment, that is what I was thinking. But Fig, you are making a very good point. It is. Yes.
Atarah,
Yes.
as you were having this conversation and sort of feeling for the rune on your upper shoulder, there isn't one.
All right. It's going to be even more complicated.
What is?
I do not look like me at all.
Oh, will your family recognize you as such?
Oh. Her hand is still on her shoulder here.
Are you injured?
No, but I thought potentially I had a way to prove who I was.
Oh, you're going to be a spy of your own family. We're going to infiltrate your family. Yes, let's do that. Let's infiltrate her family.
Sure.
Yes.
We
That
could
works for
find
me.
you a scroll of disguise self and you could look like what you were.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, let's see what we do with mere clothes. Imagine. Oh, yes. Let's do that. It would be an adventure just to say hello.
We can. We just might have
Yes.
to evaluate how we handle things when we get closer to Braca. I may not know a lot about magic, but we have lots of money, and money can make magic, so to speak. So we can figure out the details later.
Let's get to El Jefe and plan from there.
I agree.
As you have this dialogue and you figure out after a period of discussion just what the best course of action is to take, and it all seems to sort of come to a head that going through Thondarul, going into the heart of the Dwarven kingdom, the ancient Dwarven kingdom there, seems to be the most expedient route. Although it is unsure at this point, given it's been many years since the dwarves occupied that space, what kind of potential dangers there might be that lurk within the mountains. But just having been in each other's company for a day, it does feel at this point that whatever trials and tribulations that you might encounter in your travels, that you are up to the task. After all, you have a child of Mephistopheles, you have a tiefling fighter extraordinaire duelist, and you have a creature of chaos. Y'all are stacked. Y'all are good. As you sort of arrive at this course of action and this conclusion, I'm assuming that during this time of this conversation, there's an exchange of, you do also have some of the leftover alcohol that is strewn around the bar. You're all also able to go into the kitchens and find the leftover food that Sir Belvedere had left you all when he cooked the previous day.
Drank the sacramental wine.
Yes, he did, didn't he?
No. We did. He
So
it was
okay.
special to him, but we didn't know what it was.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What?
So you're finishing off the You're finishing off the sacramental wine.
Barrel.
He didn't tell us what it was.
He didn't tell you what it was.
She's a barrel of wine.
After, I'll say, Atarah, give me, as you guys are looking over the foodstuffs and the...
If you say investigation again, I'm gonna scream.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. That's way better. Okay. 23!
Okay. As you were making your way through the kitchen, just trying, it's kind of a grab bag of different food options. Very like unintentionally potluck of Sir Belvedere to have left all of this food just sort of like in small little containers, and you're sort of like going through and you're like, cold meat. Okay, all right, grab that. And you're like, oh, it looks like some sort of, spicy gravy meatballs that appear to be made there. It looks like some sort of a baked like savory quiche pie of sorts. All of this is just very like hearty, homey food. And you sort of accumulate all this stuff, and then Elindra sort of happens to like find it is a very ornate barrel, small, of that is tapped, of what appears to be blessed Solunic plum brandy.
Amazing.
Blessed by the nuns of Selune. So it stands to reason that this barrel of plum brandy was distilled within perhaps one of the cellars in Ashcaleen. It was blessed by the nuns, and a dwarven traveler brought it at one time all the way to the dwarven kingdom of Thondarul, in which point it found its way to Thartiot. And now it is being imbibed by some of the strangest individuals that have perhaps ever sat together to drink Selûnic
Amazing.
plum brandy. This plum brandy immediately fills you with just this warmth that sort of, like, you drink it, that sort of this thing hits the back of the tongue and descends down your throat into your rib cage, and just sort of just this warm glow that immediately fills you. And it is each of you have a +1 to any charisma check for the next day.
How much of this is left?
It is a you're not finishing the entire keg. I hope.
No,
We're
I
just gonna
plan to
roll
take it
it
with
with
us.
them. Yeah. We're gonna go much slower because we're just rolling the barrel.
I mean,
It's like this big.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
okay.
it's
I got it.
several steins.
We had like a
worth
shot.
of brandy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you finish, and after you finish your food and your drink, and you're sort of like just enjoying each other's company in front of the fire. The snow still falling very gracefully outside. How do each of you finish the evening?
I'm gonna take it. Go ahead.
For sure. I would say that Atarah is re-examining any of the maps that they collected, and she knows that they're kind of older, but it's been 7 years. It has been 7 years, and she's trying to be like, okay, so if I died here, trying to kind of fill in the gaps on her own, even though it's probably not going to get her very far. And she is also trying to, she doesn't want to like drink everything in like the tavern that she can, but she will try not only just like the brandy that they got, but like she will try different types of drinks that are around to try and ignite some of the like a memory again, kind of like what happened earlier.
As you go from like sort of like bottle to bottle, just sort of like taking,
lay them all out
like,
on the counter.
just
All right,
taking
one,
like
two, three.
two fingers of each alcohol as
Yeah.
you go, and you just sort of like tossing them back. For the briefest second, you're like, wait, is this a bad thing that like all of my memories come back when am I an alcoholic? Like, is this a bad thing?
No.
Like, no, this can't be a bad thing. No, this is a good thing. And, and you keep going. Very briefly, as you are taking it is a sip of there's no label on the bottle, but the moment that the beverage or the liquor touches your lips, you recognize that it is a Phoenix rum, and it is very, very strong. But it's also one of those things that immediately sort of like warms the soul. It is very, very powerful stuff.
Okay.
And you suddenly remember the last time you had it. And it was something that you had after a very hard-fought duel that you had with your mother.
Your mother sounds terrifying.
Right?
Your
Good.
mother is.
Her mother is terrifying.
Especially talking about the dress. I was like,
Yeah, she okay. And but in this instance, with this particular drink, this is not a terrifying memory. It is a memory of your mother in a rare moment of acknowledgement, where she really sees you.
Amazing.
And this has not always happened, very few times has she actually been impressed by anything that you've done, because you tend to, or in the past, got into a lot of shenanigans. But as the firstborns often are, they sort of pave the way for all of the other siblings. You just remember the conversation. And she never says that she's proud of you. But in a very circuitous way, that's the feeling that you get.
I
Is
gotcha.
that, and that's what you're left with in this frenzy of different alcohols.
Amazing.
Fig, how do you pass the time this evening?
She'll make her way back up to the room.
At this point, with the hole in the ceiling and the moon just sort of slowly making its way across the night sky, there is a very, not large, but larger mound of fresh snow that is sort of just pooled within the boundaries of the hole in the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's odd to see, but it is one of those things where it's just like, that's
the
funny.
temperature, like she gets it. But she's dressed warmer now, so it affects her even less. So she's happy. So she's sits there, lays on the bed. Feel like it's, of course, is excruciatingly short for her and her legs. But she's really comfy. When she gazes up at the two little figs that she had created before, they were just kind of like hanging. And she looks at the bigger one. And she goes, day by day, I'm passing. She's like, I know I'm passing, whatever this is. And you can see, even though she's always really like positive, she gives that slight look, like kind of like, what the fuck, kind of look. But then also like, how long is this gonna take? But then puts back on that, like, that mask of just, like she's holding it together. And she's doing it really well. She knows she's being tested. And then she just leans back and on the bed and then just falls asleep. That's what she does.
Elindra.
Before bed, I take a little, like, half shot of that Salunic wine with me and Sir Belvedere's helmet. And I go back to my room and I close the door. And then she goes and she starts her own fire and puts the helmet in front of it. And she goes, I don't know what I'm doing. And puts her finger on the wine and then draws Bahamut's symbol on the helmet and prays to Bahamut to help, that hopefully he has Sir Belvedere. I just broke you. I don't think she's ever prayed to Bahamut before. But she's doing her best. Shit. I don't know what I did. I just thought it would be a nice, sweet moment. What did I do?
Elindra,
Uh-huh.
you trace Bahamut's symbol inside the helmet. And you pray to Bahamut, which is very uncomfortable for you.
Uh-huh. It's not nice.
It's not really something you do. Nothing happens.
I mean, she didn't expect it to.
You finish your brandy
Uh-huh.
and you look at the symbol, and it's sort of like this weird, like sort of haha moment where you're like, that was silly of me. I don't know why that
I don't like that.
did. And what was it? I don't know why I was expecting anything to happen. It's weird. Do you do anything else?
I'm fucking afraid to do anything right now. That wine that is not, she doesn't drink the rest of the wine. She leaves it under his
Oh,
helmet.
a wine or brandy?
The brandy.
Oh, you didn't
She
drink it?
doesn't
Okay.
drink she doesn't drink like the one that little half shot she drew the thing with. She leaves it under the helmet because that's for Sir Belvedere. And itches at her palm because she's nervous. The palm with the scar now, the healing scar. And then she'll curl up in front of the fire.
Okay. This is not meant to be sinister.
You scared the shit out of me.
You're curled up in front of the fire? Do you choose to sleep in front of the fire, or do you sleep in the bed?
I trance in front of the fire.
Okay. All right.
You trance.
Yeah, well, she doesn't sleep, right?
Yeah, like being elf. Just
okay. I just remembered that's recorded. It's
okay. You can take it out.
Keep it in.
You better not. It's canon now. Every time you're gonna.
Well, if that's canon, then this part's definitely going to be Atarah.
What'd you do to me? Sorry.
I didn't do anything.
She's like,
I thought I was being a good person.
As you are moving along the bar, you're taking different bottles. And you don't normally, this is not something you remember being normal about you, but it's sort of like this one thing where you're just sort of like grabbed onto it and just like, oh, I remembered that thing because I tasted the thing and that felt good. So maybe I should just keep doing that and just experimenting.
Stop.
As you're moving along the bar, and you're taking the shot, and you're pacing back and forth between the bar and the fire, and it's one point as you're finishing a shot, you toss it back, you put it down, you slam it down on the bar, and you turn back towards the fire, making your pace back, and suddenly you turn and you're not in the tavern anymore. You're not in Thartiod.
Where am I?
So sorry.
You're in a place you've never been before.
Stop it.
You're
Why
looking
do you
around.
keep doing this?
You're looking around. The first thought that comes to your mind, at least in this moment, is, what did I drink? This isn't a memory. Am I asleep? I don't feel like I fell asleep.
Did I touch the ground? Like to check and yeah, that's what she's doing. She's making sure.
As you kneel down to touch the ground, you're looking around, and that's when you notice that there's a circle of candles.
Shit.
And you notice the room. This looks like a throne room. There are tapestries hanging from the walls, all depicting various histories you're not familiar with, as they seem to be native to another kingdom, telling stories of another kingdom's past. This is a very long room. You seem to be at one end. At the very other end, you see a throne. Candles are arrayed around you. And as you're turning, you look, and behind you there are a pile of corpses.
Oh, great.
All of them wearing in parts and pieces the familiar looking armor that you are wearing right now.
What? Okay.
There is sort of this moment of just like, what is this?
Do the corpses look like what I look like currently? What do the corpses look like?
They look like they are various different races.
Okay.
Some human presenting. One of them actually looks like there might be wings.
Okay.
Perhaps an ASMR.
But they're all in the armor, dead ringer, colors, everything is the same.
Well, it is
armor.
very different from your armor, as your armor is now sort
Blinged.
of
Okay.
Parts of their armor. Looks familiar, but still very different given the two craftsmen who've been working on it throughout the day.
Oh.
But it bears some resemblance.
Okay. Ooh, this is great. Awesome. She's gonna stand up and maybe snuff at the candle, or we try and walk out of the candle, I guess. She's gonna try and walk through the circle.
Okay. You do that.
Okay. Did anything around me shift or change or happen?
Nothing.
No? Okay. Did she's going to look at the tapestries as she's going, even though she knows they're not from anything she understands at this moment, but she's going to try and pay attention to any like colors, or like there was a sun on this one, or there was a sword on this one, that kind of thing, anything that she might get in this moment. But she is going to walk towards the end of the room where the throne is, and approach the throne.
All right. You do this. As you are walking down this long hall towards the throne, you do see with these tapestries, very, very lavish, ornate, very clearly telling the history of a kingdom that you aren't a part of. It appears that this is the histories of Nimrion.
Okay.
Talking about, one sticks out because it's very clearly talking about the reunification or the unification between the south and the northern kingdoms, and where they finally settled in terms of the capital being Ashcaleen. It's at this point, as you are about halfway down towards the throne and you're looking, there's a space in between these tapestries. You're able to see out past over what looks to be a patio of some kind, and like a porch that overlooks a space. You can see the ocean, and you can see the land, and the land is just a moonscape of just the very ground has been turned to glass and dust. You know you didn't teleport. This can't be some sort of teleportation spell. As you've noticed this new view, you see a figure standing on the porch overlooking the landscape.
Okay.
They look to be taller than you. They look to be about 6 foot. Dark, short brown hair.
Run. Run.
To where? To
You
where?
only see-
The circle.
You're only seeing them from the back.
Fuck.
You see that they are wearing, at least in make, very similar armor to the armor of the corpses lying in the pile at the other end of the throne room. except it is
I'm so
pure
stressed.
black. What do you do?
Listen, I mean, let's go. She's going to slowly approach. She's still not 100% sure if all of this is real, or she's dreaming. And she's going to be as slow as possible to make sure she's not like a threat. And she's gonna go. I'm not great with magic and all of that. I did not try to come here. Could you kindly return me to wherever I came from? Or
So you're
where
saying
I
this out
was.
loud to this person.
Correct.
Okay. This person turns. They are bearded. They have looks to be a sort of a short kept beard with piercing, almost glowing green eyes. Their face splattered with blood.
Great.
Which looks to be fresh.
Amazing. She will take a step back. Just again slowly. I do not mind returning just by myself. If you don't mind, I will leave you to whatever.
I don't know you.
I also do not know you. But clearly I am interrupting.
It's at this point, Atarah, you recognize they're holding a sword.
Oh.
This sword slick with blood that is dripping periodically onto the floor. They turn. There is a brief flicker of confusion as they see you. And they look at you. And they study you.
She's like slowly inching back.
They are just as slowly approaching you. Hello. I don't know you, and where did you get all of that? He's gesturing at the armor. You're not one of us.
What has that been? Where did you get that? She points at the sword.
Oh, this old thing? It's a gift.
Oh, hold on. How dumb is she? Hold on. Oh, she's not that dumb. Okay, I rolled for it. Okay, keep going.
I don't know what to do with you. I don't know if I should take that armor off or just make a mess. And he pulls up the sword.
This armor was made from some dear friends, and it came from it's hard to tell, but these pants, and she's gonna pull the pants a little, ruffle them a little. It came from a dress for my mother, and it's a whole thing. It would be very rude to try and take this armor, so I am just going to return. And she is still going backwards and kind of pacing herself back down the hallway without turning around.
At this point, his visage shimmers very briefly, and he suddenly, it's almost imperceptible how quick he moves, as suddenly he is a hand's length away from you.
Amazing. We hate it.
He's reaching out, but he's not touching you.
Yeah.
He's pointing at the very finely carved symbol of Mephistopheles.
Great.
That Elindra placed upon the armor.
Thanks.
That right there That's very interesting. So,
Sure.
this hodgepodge of armor that you've somehow got together for yourself, this didn't belong to you. And what's more is, I think I'm very interested to find out who made this. Who gave this to you?
It was a group effort, you see. A
Really?
crafting project, so to speak. So, not one artist, and we do not want to.
Oh, a collaboration.
Exactly. And she's still moving backwards. I do not trust getting into combat with this person. If I get into combat with this person, they are going to destroy me. So her goal is to really just like slowly keep stepping back and trying to stay out of reach where they are not entering combat. And she is trying to get back to that circle. I don't know why, but if that's where she came from, she's like, maybe.
As you keep moving back, he seems to be moving at the same pace as you.
Yeah.
Keeping pace, not ever letting you move out of sword's length. And he says, so the armor was given to you. They happened to put that mark on it. And it's almost like he seems like he's a little bit irritated about that. Huh.
There's also these really cool beads as well. And she's like pointing at the different elements. And she kind of turns a little bit because in her mind there's also like symbols. And she'll like be like, there's symbols here as well. And it's, can't say, creative,
Okay.
Let's double down and put the symbol of fucking what's his name on it too.
As you
she hasn't seen the back.
As you move further back, he says, just a word of warning, and I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. Okay? Would you like that? Would you like some advice?
As long as I can continue out of here.
Oh no, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just know this. If you wear the armor and you pray to certain dragon gods, just know it's not going to end how you want it to. And if you keep doing it, we're going to become really good friends. We'll be seeing more of each other.
I think you are confused. I do not pray. I did not pray. I was in a tavern by a bar and I took a drink and actually I kind of thought this was a memory and it was not.
Oh, really? At the tavern? Where?
I'm not sure. Listen, things are a little fuzzy and I've been drinking for quite some time. Somewhere very, very hot. This honor is actually too much.
I love you so much.
As you move back within the circle of candles, there is a flicker as the flames grow brighter for a brief second. He approaches just to the perimeter of the candles themselves. Says, well, it's rude to come into someone else's home and not tell them your name. So
listen, that's also kind of confusing to me as well. It is a long story and it has been a long night. I wish I could answer these questions for you, friend, but there's been a lot of alcohol. And I thought I was on a boat for a while, and then it turns out I wasn't. Do you read at all?
Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die.
I've been known to read a tome or two.
Well, children's stories I don't think are tomes. But if you are... I'm not even sure who you are, but...
Oh, I'm sorry. How rude of me. My name's Garth.
Oh, okay, Garth. Are you... I am not religious. I apologize. Are you... I don't know. I do not know. I did not mean to come to your home or your temple or wherever this is. These are very nice tapestries.
I thought it was obvious. No, this is Winterhold's Keep.
I am very, very, very drunk. So, listen, I appreciate... I don't appreciate being here because I did not mean to come here, so... And I don't pray, so if you don't mind... She's, like, in the circle, and she's, like, kind of tapping her feet around to, like, try and get it to do something.
Oh, it's, Listen. I play with my food, and I apologize. This must be awkward for you. It's very uncomfortable. Here's what I'm gonna do. You obviously didn't mean to arrive where you are. Say, I'll give you a freebie. This is a mistake. So, let's tell you what. I'll give you a head start.
Oh, fuck. Into the wall!
And the next time we meet, I'll be taking the armor.
A dead body, motherfucker.
And he flicks the sword down, the blood just slick upon the blade, just and breaks one of the candles in two, snuffing out the flame, breaking the barrier, and it's almost like ever had a dream where you're taking a step and suddenly you wake up and you find yourself in bed, but it was like, oh, I was just walking a second ago.
Yeah.
It's like that sensation. And your hand is resting on the bar with the drink. And you find yourself once again inside the Dwarven Tavern in Thartiat. Very, very confused about what just happened and who you just encountered.
Yeah.
And that is where we will leave it for tonight.
Okay. This is fine. I'm sure.
I was trying to take as much notes as I can. I'm like a stenographer.
Bro, I tried to do
here.
a cute little fucking thing where, he pour one out for the dead guy. Nah.
Like, you're the one who drew a sigil on something.
Yeah, it's the sigil of his god.
You're a user.
And
You
then
know
said a
Like,
prayer.
how do exorcisms work?
Yeah,
I don't
but a prayer
know.
from a fiend.
This should be a blessing, but if I call upon an omnipotent entity, it won't have anything problem, right?
Like, he's not even here right now. And
Yeah,
I'm not
no,
even
he's chilling on the moon or some shit.
Thank you all for watching. The first episode for some of us in Shadows of Ashcaleen. Again, we really appreciate you watching and subscribing. Please tune in next time where we shall see what becomes of our heroes as they journey north. Love you all. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your week and roll nothing but nat 20s. Have a good night.